Listeners, it's
that ain't my baby. You thought I was slipping, but this pimping, that ain't my baby. When we slid in them covers, I threw on that rubber, that ain't my baby. No, pull out game way too strong. What do you take me for? You think I'm crazy, but that ain't my 2 shots for Julia, I had to know ya. I'm glad I didn't waste no time. I can figure out what you like. Be much like you taking me home tonight. And you showing out in that under outfit. Looking all bad, looking real thick. Got you twirling those curls, really want it. Come and let me give it to you. Take this real dick. Nice, but I'm too focused. I'm the side nigga and I know it. Now you texting me, you're pretty gonna be joking. So if it's my baby, I'll take care of that. Women run the game and I'm aware of that. I know I put too good on that night. You finna fuck up my life. That ain't my baby. You thought I was slipping, but this pimping, that ain't my baby. When we slid in them covers, I threw on that rubber. That ain't my baby. No, pull out game way too strong. What do you take me for? You think I'm crazy, but that ain't my baby. It was just some late night sex. Tryna be a lifetime stress. I was strapped with the latex. I think I need a DNA test. You were just a late night sex. Tryna be a lifetime stress. Strapped up with the latex. I just got my DNA test, girl. That ain't my baby.
That ain't my baby.
You thought I was slipping, but this pimping, that ain't my baby. When we slid in them covers, I threw on that rubber. That ain't my baby.
No.
Too strong. What do you take me for? You think I'm crazy, but that ain't my baby.
That ain't my baby. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? It's your man KB, and this is Easy on the Eyes podcast. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, we doing things a little bit different today. No, I don't want to say that. Doing things a little bit different. We got some breaking news we want to talk about. I got my man Jay in the building. Sports Talk with Jay. The crew gonna be in here. Let me do this. I don't want no words in the background real quick. Let me get everything situated. There we go. So peep it. Peep game. I'm out here. I'm on the road. Right? Be more. We definitely will be in the building coming home this weekend. All right. So check this out. We got some things we want to talk about that happened in the sports world over the past few days. Y'all know we normally go live on Friday nights, Sport Talk with Jay, where you get your fantasy pick and set your fantasy lineups, to get your parlay picks, and get all the good insight, things like that. So join us each and every Friday. I'm gonna say for next week we'll be going live on Thursday. So this is like a drive run. We're gonna start going live on Thursday for the next few weeks over the holidays. So Fridays will be a little bit busy. All right. So I know the crew was in the back. I know Jay is in the back right now. So this is what we're gonna do. I'll bring Jay up right now.
Hey everybody, what's up, KB? Good to be in the building, man. With this crazy sports talk that we got to talk about, man. It's a lot of controversy, a lot of things going on. Deion Sanders going to Colorado, a lot of hate, envy, and all these other things. What we got to do as Black people is celebrate progress, and not celebrate nonsense. And if we learn how to do that and uplift each other, we've been in a better place.
Right. So before we jump off into it, look, if you're watching live and you want to get on and speak your mind, I will be posting the link to join us in the chat in a few seconds. That way you can come on up here and you can give your thoughts about everything. So let's start here, because the let me say, the breaking news this morning is that they released Brittney Griner from jail. Well, not. Let's go to Deion, because Deion was first. Deion is first, right? So let's start with Deion, right? Deion Sanders goes to Jackson State. He wins 2 championships, correct? 2 championships with Jackson State, right?
Well, his record was 28-5 in 3 years. So he won a SWAC championship, 2 years in a row. He went undefeated this year. Last year, they won the SWAC championship and lost in the Celebration Bowl to South Carolina State and got really beat bad in the Celebration Bowl. This year, they went undefeated, and they're also going to the Celebration Bowl again on December 17th in Atlanta, Georgia at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'm looking for them to seal the deal and win that. Deion's son is a sophomore this year. He's made a big jump from his last year, and he's balling out. And he will be in Colorado next year as a starting quarterback, but we'll get to that soon. Go ahead, Kate.
All right. So with that being said, he goes there, he wins, right? And he gets a job offer for Colorado that he takes. Now, me personally, when I first seen it, I did what I did. I didn't comment on it. I didn't say anything about it. I wanted to sleep on it. Because I try not to, in life, I try not to make emotional decisions. When you first hear something, your first 10 minutes is emotional. Sometimes it takes a day. I like to sleep on things and hear both sides, get the gist of it, before I speak out on it, right? I don't like to just off the top of my head, because sometimes you say things as soon as you hear it, then when you go back and you think about it, say, wait a minute, So when I heard it, I slept on it for a day or two. Then I watched his interview, right? And me personally, everybody that know me, I scream HBCU. For me, I think that all talent, all black athletes, if we just went to HBCUs, then that'll support you. You know what I mean? That's where I see, instead of fighting to get into the Penn States and the Ohio States and the Oklahoma thing like that, go to a Jackson State, go to a Morgan, go to the little HBCUs and bring our community up. That's always been me. My man Jazz always used to tell me it ain't no money in that HBCUs. You don't get the publicity. That's what he used to always say, right? I hope he called up here today too, right? So big up to Jazz, big up to Gary. He started his sports podcast yesterday, right? So when I heard it, when they first went to Jackson State, I was like, yeah, Prime, that's what's up. Like, yeah, we need that. We got a big name in the HBCUs. The HBCU want to come up. He left. He gone now. At first, I was torn, Jay. I was like, damn, Prime. But then I sat back and I was like, damn, Prime. Like, wait a minute. Yeah, man, because what hit me was, I was like, okay, maybe that's his job is finished there. I ain't even gonna bullshit with him. We say it ain't no black coaches in the NFL, right? If it ain't no black coaches in the NFL, right? Well, I mean, we have a few, right? Few black coaches in the NFL. Maybe the NFL is his dream. Maybe that's the next best step. Maybe he's paving the way and showing these black coaches how go to the HBCU, grind it out, win there, then move to the next level. Win there, they gotta get you on the big screen. They gotta get you on the big stage, right? Maybe that's how I'm looking at it. And okay, his name going to Colorado. I mean, it ain't like it was a big school. He's straight gonna have to get it out the mud again. But then he's given the black athletes opportunity, because they're gonna want to come play for him. They're gonna want to come play for him. He's given them the opportunity to, as he said, be in a position where he said his team, when he walked into that locker room and that training facility, he said, man, my boys are die to play in something like this so and I'm looking at the different things, the different perks. I know I'm rambling right now, right? But I'm looking at the different things when I found out that he was taking half of his salary, giving it back and putting it back into Jackson State so that they could have. Jay, if I'm working somewhere and you tell me I got to take my check and put it back into the business, man, fuck that job.
Yeah. Let me put some insight into this too, though, KB. So not only did he go there, he actually got Walmart to build a new stadium for them. He got American Airlines to be the actual travel for the team. And then he talked to Michael Strahan, because Strahan has connections with, I think, JCPenney or one of these retailers, to make sure that he gets all his players suits, so when they actually travel on the road, they can look uniform. Mm-hmm. So Not only his impact was on the football team and HBCUs, he's actually started a combine for the HBCUs where it was no combine. So his impact has been greatly, it just meant overwhelming. Jackson State, nobody was talking about Jackson State. He increased revenue up to double what they were making. They made $30 million and brought in $30 million last year. When you think about that, an impact, it's kind of like the impact that LeBron James made when he came to Cleveland, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and when he left. Mm-hmm. They stated that when he left Cleveland and went to Miami, the whole downtown Cleveland suffered. Nobody was coming out to the bars. They wasn't making any money. And when he came back, it just put an influx into the community. That's what Deion Sanders did. What people do not realize is this. He shined a light on HBCUs. And when you shine a light on HBCUs, it's going to influence other HBCUs to step up to the plate. Mm-hmm. Like KB said, there's nothing wrong with going to a Howard, all these other universities. But I'm going to say this. I went to a HBCU. And I'll say this. And life is about resources and connections. It's not about what you know, it's who you know. Mm-hmm. If I could flip the script and go back again, I'd have went to a different school because with those resources, I don't know where I would be in the world. Because that's what we got to concentrate on is in life, with the right resource, you can get into any door. You can rub elbows with anybody. And as individuals and Black people, we lack resources. And that's why we can't get into some of these doors. And that's why we don't have the power we need to be successful and to make change. Getting back to Deion.
I want to piggyback off of what you just said. We do have another caller in the back, Ray's in the back. I'll be bringing him up shortly. Okay. Right. But in the words of the great of Corey Holcomb, he said HBCUs ain't nothing but a party school. Right. And I ain't go to an HBCU, so I can't say I don't know. So I always champion for us to go. To go. Now that I'm older, little different things, I'm like, man, why don't we go? Right. But he said it ain't nothing but a party school. Is that all right? Is that true?
Well, from my experience, I went to University of Maryland Eastern Shore. I didn't finish at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, but I went there straight out of high school. And my experience was, UMES wasn't a party school like that. And it was out of nowhere. So it was basically a school where you were able to make some connections. You were able to build relationships, long-term relationships, and you were able to build out there. But as far as the resources and then the understanding of tapping into people that you will never be able to meet and then having those different things, as you went to a North Carolina, you went to a Ohio State, you got people coming from all these walks of life. You don't know who you're going to encounter. You don't know who you would meet. And that's long lasting. And when you saw that video with Deion Sanders and he brought the dude up from Under Armour, you saw what he said. He played football, and then he went to a prep school. He met Eddie George. And he had all these other guys that Eddie George can lead to this and this and this. And that was his bridge point to him starting Under Armour. So once again, I'm going back to the resources thing, KB.
Right.
When you look at that, if he would have never met Eddie George, would he have been successful at Under Armour? But because he met Eddie George and because he played football and got those resources, he was able to tap into those resources and create his network to make him a multimillionaire. And it all started with a resource. Resource that if you go to an HBCU, don't get me wrong, it'll be a great experience. But you're not going to have that Eddie George. You're not going to have these guys that are influential into the world that can connect you to who knows how many connections that if you start a business, that could be your bridge point and make you successful.
Right. And it's I didn't even know that Deion got all his guys suits. Deion, I wish I'd have known because I make suits, man. I would have donated. That's what I'm looking to get into. That's what I do now with the high schools and things like that. Right. And real quick, let me go ahead and let me bring up Ray. Ray King, Mr. Ray King Beverly. Are you with us?
I'm with you.
All right. Good morning, sir.
What's up, brother?
Good morning, my brothers. What up?
How you feel?
I'm good.
So, talk about it. Tell us what's your feelings on what's your perspective on Deion Sanders in the Jackson State, Colorado move?
I'm listening. I agree with I agree with everything y'all saying. I think us as a whole, I'm saying black people as a whole, he catching a lot of flack for that. And they calling him a sellout, this, that, and the third. But shucks, for the brother to put up half his money for things that the school didn't have. But Dion, like he said, he got money. So it ain't because of the money. He got money, but for you to put up your whole check, half your check as the coach to get the resources, you gotta put that in check and in a different perspective. And also what the brother was saying about Michael Strahan and all of that. Michael Strahan ain't the only one that Dion went to. Dion went to brothers with some cash, the Jay-Z's and them type brothers, to help for funding to keep him there. Then nobody want in. Nobody wanted to help. Nobody wanted to help pitch in for funding. So at the end of the day, I still look at it as him still being a vessel for black coaches to be at a Power 5 school, and that's probably that at the end of the day, that might be his fate, his destiny. Like he said, for God to use him to build up our resume as black men, for the coaches, even the little league Pop Warner coaches, for these guys to see a different light as far as, you know, to uplift the community, the boys, and now all the recruits running to Colorado just because Dion there. They just had that on the news 2 minutes ago and watching the news. Recruits are coming. That's crazy.
Yo, Ray, the number one running back for Alabama sent a tweet. Hey, Unc, you got room for me? I'm gonna come to Colorado. Think about that. Think about that. A 5-star guy from Alabama, just because the influence that Dion. When Dion walks on the rim, because what people don't realize is he done it at the highest level. And when you done it at the highest level, you ain't got to say nothing. So when he makes a phone call, everybody gonna pick up. Because not only did he do it on the field, he understands business. He understands how to make a young man into a man, and how to make him understand the business aspect of it. And sometimes when you go to some of these schools, these PWIs, you're not going to get that aspect, because most of these coaches ain't played the game on the highest level and don't understand the business acumen within sports. Go ahead, KB.
So Ray King, you mean to tell me that Dion we tried to kneel in Jay-Z and ask for funding, and he ain't have his back? That's what you said.
Yeah,
oh man, we lost.
But KB, I'm not surprised. You know,
I ain't surprised.
What they do is for us, they put a puppet in front of us to say, hey, he's going to leave for us. Like saying that Jay-Z was going to be part of the NFL. He's not doing anything. They just put his name up there because for some reason, as individuals, we look at these rappers or these other people as role models when they're not. What has Jay-Z done? You know, what has Jay-Z done for anybody?
Right.
Himself. So I'm not surprised that he didn't support Dion. Why would he? Because once they get into those groups, they're not supporting regular black people. If you're not in that billionaire group or that millionaire group, you're not a part of that group. Even though we all know Dion is a part of that group, but he's not sacrificing himself to be in that group.
Got you. What's up, T Nasty? Welcome to the show. What's going on, with it, man? We sitting here, we talking about Prime. We talking about Coach Prime right now and his move. And I think the community is giving him a hard way to go, man. We always ready to cancel each other. Yeah, I mean, let me get my face on this one. We always ready to cancel each other, right? And things like that. And like what I always tell people, what worked for me don't work for you. What works for you don't work for me. Yeah, I mean, and maybe Dion wants to coach in the NFL or whatsoever, right? Or maybe want to coach in D1. I don't know what his dream is. I don't know what his end goal is, right? But he actually went to Jackson State to do it. So I have to give him props. I have to commend him in that aspect. You went there, you did it. No, I ain't want you to leave, but maybe, hey, I see bigger things. I can see a bigger picture, right? And me not wanting them to leave, I look at that like when our people's on life support, right? When people on life support, right? And It'd be selfish for us to keep them around and they in pain just because we want them there. You know what I'm saying? Not saying all the time, but it's been times, it's been situations I done seen some things that I know I walked out like, man, that's selfish for us to you telling me that if we bring him back, he's not gonna have this, and this.
He'll be a veteran, or
Hey,
Yeah.
real quick, KB. Let me speak on what this person is saying.
Right.
Anthony Price, Deion didn't sell out for money. He has money. How can he sell out for money? He's a millionaire, so that can't be accurate.
Right.
He's not chasing a bag because he already has the bag.
Look,
so how can he chase the bag?
Look, if it was about the money, Anthony, right, and you can click the link to join the show, I will bring you up. If it was about the money, then he wouldn't have been putting his money back into Jackson State. You understand what I'm saying? If it's specifically about the money, and I know it must be the money. I know he made the video. We grew up on it, right? But now I think it's past that. It's a bigger calling. We complain, like I said earlier, Anthony. We complain about black coaches not getting their proper due in the NFL, right? Maybe this is his step to get to the NFL, to be one of those coaches.
Yeah, KB. He don't want to go to the NFL. He don't want to go to the NFL. He don't want to go to the NFL. He said that he has no desire to go to the NFL because he cannot stand for players making millions of dollars that don't want to go for it and don't have the kind of desire he had to love the game.
Right. Okay.
He can't go to the NFL for the same reason John Thompson couldn't coach in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? They got a genuine concern for kids, for the youth, this, that, and other. For them guys in the NFL, they getting all this money. They get as much money as the coaches, so which takes away some of the control. You know what I'm saying? Coaches like that need control for a good reason, for a good purpose, to keep stuff in line. And somebody like Deion Sanders, just like the late John Thompson, one of my favorite coaches. John Thompson said the reason why he ain't coaching the NBA, he'd have put his hands on one of them motherfuckers.
Facts. That's facts, Troy. That's facts, Troy.
But let me get back then. Now, my thing, I got some points about the Deion situation. One thing ain't nobody mentioned. Now, and I'm a Notre Dame fan, right? I'm a big Notre Dame fan. One thing ain't nobody mentioned. This time last year, Brian Kelly got that LSU job.
Right.
Brian Kelly ain't coaching that bowl game last year. He just went to LSU. All right, Notre Dame, I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
Wash his hands off the situation.
And he ain't the first one that did that. This happens every year. Coaches get another job somewhere and they go, Deion, I want to go out on a limb. Deion might be one of the first coaches that's actually leaving, but gonna stick around for the bowl game. Ain't nobody say nothing about that.
That's a good point, Troy. And on top of that, Troy,
that's one thing right there.
And Troy, real quick, Troy, all those coaches that do that are white coaches. Let's put it out there.
Right, exactly.
Go on to your second point, yo.
That's one thing. Another thing. I don't care how rich you are. Jay-Z is a billionaire, right? Him and Beyonce billionaire. Didn't Beyonce just bring out a new album? She's still working. I don't care how much money you got. You will be a damn fool if you getting paid $300,000 and you getting offered millions and leave millions on the table. You'll be a damn fool. That's two. Three, what do they want from Deion? What do y'all want from Deion? Deion is 55 years old. What y'all want him to be the next Eddie Robinson or something? Get 300 something wins, 400 something wins as an HBCU coach? He don't have time for that. This man is 55 years old, yo. And in this three-year span, in this short time, he gave them the first undefeated season. He gave them the best season they ever had.
And also the exposure. He stuck it out for 3 years, yo. He did more than his job, yo. It's time for somebody else. He already played. He stuck the flag in the ground. It's time for somebody else. The sword he was fighting with, it's time for somebody else to pick it up and continue the battle.
Right. And that's how I look. He opened the door. It's time for somebody to It's time for somebody to step in.
Now
Somebody else to
look,
step in.
now look, this is what I think. This is what I think about it too.
Before,
Dion
hey
only
Troy,
got
hold
in.
up. Hey,
What was this? What do
hey
y'all
Troy,
think? Huh?
before you go there, not only did he open the doors for guys to go to take up that Jackson State job or the HBCU job, he also just opened the doors for them to get up into, especially if he go there and succeed, to be on the D1 level and coach.
Right.
How many black coaches are in D1?
Right. It ain't too many. It ain't too many. Or they get fired. They bring one thing about black people, yo. A solid black person, we about structure. You know what I'm saying? It happened in the NFL with Tony Dungy. He came in there and set the table for at Tampa Bay. Gruden sat down and ate, but he proved his worth when he went to the Colts and made a winner out the Colts.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let me answer this question real quick, Troy. Hey, Anthony. Yeah, I think it's fair. All the coaches do that. Once the transfer portal has been initiated, all coaches bring their players. Did you see Lincoln Ryan bring that quarterback over from Oklahoma to USC, and that's why they won 10 games? That's why the transfer portal is in place. It's for you to not have to go to a team when you switch teams and had to start from scratch like you did 4 or 5 years ago. So, yeah, I think it's fair. When you come, just like all the other white coaches, they bring their players. He's bringing his son. He's bringing all those guys that he had over there that are dogs to bring them to Colorado. People don't realize Colorado was on a big stage. They had Heisman Trophy winners, Cordell Stewart. They was a great organization. They just fell off the map. And I think Dion is opening up doors not only at the HBC level, also at the college level, because now it's time for other sports athletes and people to step up and go to these other HBCUs and make a point and make a stand and say, hey, we're not having it no more. And that's what they need to do. So all he did was open the door, and all these other people that's on the sidelines running their mouth talking, step up to the plate and make a change. That's what they need to do.
During the time he was there, right? Did y'all see what Dion was going through? With his feet getting 2 coals cut off, getting his legs all opened up, and Absolutely. He was still there on a golf cart, on this, on that. Dion, this the last point I wanted to make before Kemet said what he said. Dion, what was his reason to getting into coaching?
To help the youth.
To help the youth, but what was his main reason? His kids.
Oh, absolutely.
He got 3 sons that was playing, right? He got in it with youth football. All right, then as they grew up, middle school, then he started an organization which is helping. It ain't just his kids benefit from it. It's kids that's playing in them leagues and them tournaments he have. He helping all of them a long way getting exposure, right? So then you move up to the high school level. Then once his son graduated high school, he built his son up, coached him up to where he was one of the best quarterbacks coming out. All right, so now let's do this HBU thing. I wanna help out the HBUs because they're recognizing this and another. He went there and did that. Now his main focus, my point is, his main focus, he was in it from the beginning from his kids and a genuine concern for the youth and everything else, helping out a lot of people along the way. Now, when he first went to Jackson State, I don't think his focus was on I think he planned on staying there maybe like
5
something years. Yeah, 5 something years. All right, so then as time went on, his first season, how many games he won? I think he won like 5 or 6 games. Then his second season, what was last year, they made it to the championship and lost. All right, so now people start to raise eyebrow. Okay, Dion can coach the Power 5 school. Dion can coach this, that, and other. Now this year, he comes back and go undefeated. Best season they ever had. Best season they ever had.
Boy, right?
Season. So all right, they throwing M's my way. This, that, and the other. All right, I'm gonna take these boys. I'm gonna take my son, bring my sons and stuff out there. He takes his job.
$30,000. Like you said, he ain't need the money. It ain't about the money, but shit.
Right.
This dude got 5 kids, yo. Generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? Damn right. You will be a damn fool to lead them M's on the table. Now you got people saying he justifying now why he left this, that, and other. For one thing about it, he a grown ass man. I can say something right now, and then 5 minutes later, I can change my mind because I'm grown. And ain't none of y'all paying my damn bills. All right? Dion lived lavish. You know how he lived. Matches and stuff like that. It costs money to run that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. And then, all right, so I got into it for my kids, helping out the kids, this, that, and other. Now it's coming real lucrative to him. He's going to go there. I don't see Dion is not going to coach forever, yo. Dion he going to play out this contract even if he get to it. Once his son leave there, Dion going to lose interest in coaching. So I'm going to go ahead and get this quick bag, and I did my part, more than my part. Dion don't owe me, you, the game of football, don't owe it nothing. Okay?
Yeah, I like it, Troy. Hey, Ray.
That's my take on it.
Hey, Ray, you got cut off, man. So go ahead. I'm keeping mine, brother.
I think Dion he might eventually go pro. And to piggyback what Troy was saying, I just look at it as progression. He started out with the boys in Pop Warner League. He go to AAU, get the team. He get to high school, he coaching. He get to college, he coaching. And if anybody remember, he never said that he wouldn't leave Jackson State. He said from the very beginning when they first hired him, he already was like, yeah, I entertained going to another school. So I don't understand why everybody was upset. But I just look at it as progression. And this ain't nothing, no overnight coaching. Oh, because he Deion Sanders, he got the job. Like Troy was saying, this brother been putting in the work since his sons was little boy. A slow progression from Pop Warner, AAU, high school. And they failed to realize he took some of the high school boys, not just his son. He had a couple high school boys that played on the team with him that he bought to Jackson State with him because they was getting busy. Taking the 10 boys from HBCU, plus his sons, taking them 10 dogs with him, like he said. Now, think about how their life about to change, getting put on a bigger map. Think about the coaches that's been with him the last 17 years coaching Pop Warner, high school. They life about to change. So I just look at it as progressive for everybody and the door being opening for something bigger and better. And as Dion said it, people act like I'm leaving. What he said, people act like I'm leaving black people. I'm not leaving black people
because I'm black.
You know what I'm saying? but I still look at it as when he came to, you talk about like the Oprah Winfrey's, they got a ton of money sitting in the bank. When he came to people of that magnitude, I believe Dion would have still probably stayed in the HBCU had he would have had the funding. I believe he probably would have stayed. It would have got bigger. The spotlight would have got bigger and bigger, and probably would have got some more NFL black veterans to start coaching some of the Howards, the Norfolk States, the Hamptons, the Morgan States. You know what I mean? Coppin. You would have had more black NFL veterans to come out and probably join some of these joints and start coaching and make it even bigger. But when your people only interested in Hollywood or driving a Bentley and going in the hood, fronting, you know what I mean? Like that ain't helping. So yeah, why not? You know they done robbed the man at the school. On top of that, like I don't know. I commend them though.
Hey Ray, you make a great point, yo. You make a great point, Ray. At the end of the day, if he got the funding, it would have been a takeover. It would have been a movement. Because that was one of the things, they didn't have the resources that these big Power 5 schools have. So they didn't have clean water and all those things that people are not talking about. They couldn't even take a shower. You know, they had to go to a hotel to take a shower. So these are the things that, and you brought up great points when we reach out to our own fellow black people we don't support. And if he'd have got the support, and then I agree with you, Ray, he would have stayed there. And what would have happened is that school would have been a Power 5 HBCU team. And they would have been starting competing with those Power 5 teams because they'd have got the players and would have had the resources and been on the same kind of recruiting level as the Power 5 schools. And because they didn't do that, he had to make a change. In order for him to compete at that level, you got to go to a Power 5 school with the resources in order for you to compete. You'd never been able to compete against the Alabamas at Jackson State or any other schools. And people got to realize this is not old school. You're not tied to no program, HBCU, like Eddie Robinson for 45 years. That wasn't his calling. And I don't think he want to go to the NFL. He said one time that he don't want to go to the NFL because these guys are being paid millions of dollars and don't love the game. And he would lose his mind. So I think he really loves the opportunity to be on a college level where he has control, opposed to not being in control at the NFL level.
I agree with you, but just like Troy said, he also got the right to change his mind. Now he's saying that now. But if his son go pro, here come Deion.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
now check this out, right?
Good point, right?
You just said y'all talking about him being there and having the funding, right, in the HBCU. Do you know how dangerous that would have been if they had their own independent private funding, whereas though they could now compete with
it'd have been a movement.
The D1, that would have been a movement.
But that's why Deion went to them. Just think about the Tyler Perrys and them sitting on billions of dollars, and he in Atlanta. Like, come on, man.
So once again, our people didn't have his back. We ain't have our back. We ain't support. We didn't support us. Just like now, we're not support. Half of the people not supporting him as he moved to the money. We don't know what his end game is. We don't know what his end game is to do with the money, because hey, what I'm finding out is he did more with his personal money for black people than motherfuckers do any day out here that they doing.
It's about opportunity, yo. Opportunity that he can give to his people that would never get that opportunity. I told you before.
I'm pretty sure Jackson State ain't pay for them showers.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, KB,
that had to come out of his pocket.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is about opportunity. A lot of his coaches would have never been on that platform or that stage.
Right. True that.
So that's giving them different opportunities and experience they will never experience in their life because of the presence of Deion in their life. And that's why I say, as black people, if we concentrated on resources and finding out the people we know that we can get into any doors, we can make change. But we don't concentrate on that. We're taught to know everything. And knowing everything don't get you nowhere, because if you don't have the resources to get into a door that you need to get into, you can't get in there. So right. Deion is the plug for all these other guys, and because his presence was brought into their life, they're able to elevate, and that's the reality of it. And a lot of times, if we're connected to the right person, we can elevate and also help other people. But your mind got to be in a certain place and understand that if black people work together, we can do anything. But it's 360 degrees of separation. That's why we can't do anything.
That's like prime example, like not to get off Deion, but prime example of when it comes to backing somebody, right? How Deion was looking for backing, for funding. How we didn't come to him. Well, he didn't come to us, but he came to the other brothers and sisters that got billions of dollars in the bank. I believe he would have stayed. Another example of not backing your brother, but I want to see what's going to happen with Kyrie Irving and he get dropped by Nike. And now I'm bringing this up to say, okay, Nike terminated him. They dropped him. So Kyrie got the shoes on. You saw the sneakers that he had on. He like, logo go here. Thank God I'm free. And I'm reading into that as the see, and on his statement was like, let's show them how the community be together, or show them how much power we got. So I'm wondering if this brother gonna make his own shoe just to see who gonna back Kyrie if he do.
Man, and you know what it'd be slick if Kanye did it for him.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So imagine if Ye made a shoe for Kyrie.
Well, it's like this though. Kyrie ain't no fool though. We all need all of y'all play ball, and we all know Nike make a quality shoe. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie feet, taking care of his feet is his business. He can't go out there in no garbage ass shoes.
You don't have to.
Everybody that's making these shoes, they be garbage ass shoes, yo.
No, like but listen,
that's the ball. Remember I like what Marbury did, but remember the Marburys, yo? Your feet gonna come out of them, man. but you gonna kill yourself in them shoes.
But listen, but now we got technology. What I'm saying is, Kyrie got bread, and motherfucking and whoever, it's other black people that got bread. You can find the technology. You can find Nike ain't nothing but all of them. Nike, Adidas, Puma, all of them copy the same format pretty much. They just make their own design to it. So the know-how is there up there in the shoe game. Back then, when Steph did it, when Stephon Marbury did it, he probably did it with limited knowledge. He probably did it with he had to go overseas with the Chinese people or allegedly. Or everything go ahead is allegedly.
But that ain't no allegedly, K. That ain't no allegedly because that's where they make the shoes at.
Right. All the shoes. right. So what I'm saying, all I'm saying is, like right now, the know-how, man, we can make our own shoe and them bitches won't fall apart, yo. And that's all I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, that shoe could be made. Kyrie have the resources, the people to actually do the designs and everything down to it. He can talk to them personally.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. What athlete made a shoe, right? Went out the box, like you said, and made a quality shoe. Lonzo Ball tried it. The ball, BBB, they tried it. They was garbage, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ask me, yo, I think Kyrie should just leave well enough alone, yo. All right, he fought back this, that, and the other. I think he's just chill. Stop jumping out there, yo. Stop jumping out there because I used to do that myself. Jump out there all the time, defending people that ain't going to defend their damn self. And more times than not, you'll look around and ain't nobody there with you.
It ain't so much of him jumping out there. He just said, I just gained. This is something that I learned from watching a film. He didn't put nothing on nobody. They took it and ran with it like that.
He got some Niso suit down here.
The problem is when we say something, we get canceled. Any other race say something, they don't get canceled. So that's the reality of it. It's unfair. It's unfairness. It's corruption. And that's the world we live in. Corruption. You know, why is it that, Trump can say whatever he want. All these other people can say whatever they want. They don't get canceled. They don't get their millions taken away from them. We tell the truth, and they just snatch everything away from us. It's a corruption.
Hey, what do you think? What do you think somebody like Muhammad Ali would have said today?
Hey, Duncan, hold on real quick. Hey, Duncan, click the link. Link, Duncan.
Who knows what he said, right? He was saying all that stuff back then. The way the world has changed and the way of dysfunction that we live in, man, he'd have been saying who knows what. That's a good question, though.
I wonder what Ali would have said on behalf of Kyrie for what he's standing for, or for Kaepernick or whatever. I wonder what somebody like Ali would have said.
Hold on, real quick. Hey, Duncan, here in the back, click the link that's in the chat, Duncan, so I can bring you up backstage.
Even with the Kaepernick thing, right? How much support did he have? All these people talk, but never step up to the plate. That's why I always say it can be 25 of us in a room. We agree on everything. When it's time to put into action, we step outside, we by ourselves.
Because you know what was crazy? Crazy about Kaepernick. Kaepernick won't even being disrespectful. He just took a knee. And the crazy thing about Kaepernick, after everybody jumped on his head about it, then we get the George Floyd situation. The whole world erupt. The world, not just the U.S., the world erupt from the very same thing this brother was talking about. That was the crazy part.
See, you gotta pick your battles though. Like you said, he wasn't being disrespectful. He just took a knee, yo. But before he did that, yo, he know how people gonna take that.
Right.
So you got to be ready for what's gonna come to you. You know what I'm saying? And me, I'm just speaking for me. Because I done did it time and time again. jumping out for people, fighting people out this, that, and other, and you look around just like James just said, and I said before, you be by yourself. I'm not gonna be the one jumping out there no more.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
As was told to me, sometimes being a man, you got to stand alone.
Nobody gonna end up losing but you. And these people gonna keep going to work, getting their money.
Yeah, the reality, like you say, Ray, if you willing, if you know you have a conviction about something, you got to stand on your own too, you know. And at the end of the day, sometimes you got to fight your own battles. Troy, I agree with you a lot of times when you put yourself out there for people. Like I said, you'll be the only one out there. But
you'll be the only one out there.
But I do truly believe if you really stand on something, stand on it. I don't care if you're gonna get canceled or whatever. If that's what you believe, stand on it. And that's what people don't do.
Kyrie didn't even catch COVID. Kyrie went through Kyrie took a lot of heat for not getting the shot, did everything the right way. What's the white boy quarterback? What was his name? Aaron Rodgers lied about it.
Correct.
They ain't really give him no grief about that. Lied about it. They ain't give him no grief. That brother Kyrie, I just feel like he more so on principle than anything. Like as a black man, as a brother, like I'm with him on that because it's principle for him over the money, over what you may think it is. And just when they laughed in his face and said they was laughing at him on TV and said Kyrie got an army behind him, and then 2-3 days later you got about 500-600 brothers coming up to that stadium just to show them we got his back. Like I had to tip my hat to them for that though.
Yeah,
somebody was in that brother corner.
Yeah, we got power. Yo, listen to this though. This is really funny, right? Brett Favre took money from Mississippi. Deion provided money from Mississippi, right?
You ain't heard that yet.
Who was saying something about Brett Favre and his foolishness, his underhanded mindedness, and all this other stuff? Everybody's talking about Deion. Why ain't nobody talking about Brett Favre?
They ain't heard nothing yet.
It's amazing.
You ain't going enough.
It's amazing.
Now listen, hey, what's up, Duncan? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Easy on the Eyes podcast. Everything good. Hey, look, so Duncan, we was talking about the HBCUs, talking about Deion Sanders leaving, and I want you to give your thoughts on that. But I want you to also explain again, because I was watching your live that you did the other day, and you was talking about how the scholarships are distributed and everything through going through the dealing with the schools. I just want you to touch on that so the people, because that was the first time the way that you broke it down, I was like, damn. You understand what I'm saying? And I just really peeped game right then and there. So share with the people about the HBCU scholarships and compared to the D1 scholarships and things like that.
One of the things we got to understand, right? And the reason I noticed, it was like, I had a long talk with Murphy last night. Y'all know your Murphy from around y'all way, so y'all know Murphy. Murphy, what's Murphy last name?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know Murphy.
Black Paper. From Black Paper. And so one of the things we got to understand, right? When HBCUs was actually created, HBCUs was only created for 3 things, right? It was one, to educate free slaves' kids, not the slave, the kid of the free slave, right? That was the first thing. The other thing was to become a divinity or theological setting, because they wanted to basically make sure we knew about their God, right? The Jesus and everything else that they created and everything else. So if you look at Howard University is named after, I think his name is Oliver Otis Howard, who was he actually fought in the civil rights on the Union side. It was a white guy, right? Spelman is named after Rockefeller's wife, right? And so you got to understand. Do y'all know the rules of getting a HBCU or getting a college, or getting a school to educate blacks back in slavery days? Do y'all know why St. Francis is right on the jails? Because it all ties together. So the reason that St. Francis, the jail actually had to sell the grounds to Mary Mother Lane because back then you couldn't have a spot for education unless it was part of a jail. It had to be grounds of a jail. So the jail actually made the decision to sell her part of the land so she could start this one little house school. And if you go to St. Francis on the Chase Street side, you can still see the one little house school. You go up in there and they show you the history on the wall. Everybody should, it's a great museum. Everybody should take a chance to go see, because she wanted to educate immigrant. She was an immigrant that wanted to educate Black young girls, right? So she started, Mary Mother Lang started St. Francis Academy, but she only could start it on the jail's premises because back then you couldn't have any education of Blacks unless it was on jail's ground, right? So if you go in the basement of St. Francis, this is the honest God truth. If you go in the basements of St. Francis, they got a door all the way in the back. If you open the door, it's tunnels, and them tunnels lead to all the Black churches in East Baltimore.
Damn.
I said if I was coming out of middle school, the history.
Good information, brother.
I asked to St. Francis.
Good information,
brother. All right. So tell us about, all right, so that is, because I never knew that.
So I want to draw a picture for you. So HBCUs are not governed the same way in the NCAA that big white colleges are governed, right? There's different stipulations. There's a different way the money come in and everything else, and I'm going to break it down. And I wanted to show y'all that little history so y'all could see that the way we were governed was totally different, and it went on to each level, right? Even the colleges. So the problem was Deion Sanders. Let's talk about this first, Kim. Deion Sanders was not qualified to coach at Jackson State. Let's be first frank about that. Deion Sanders never even been a head coach in high school. He was an offensive coordinator when Shador was at that little high school. He only was a head coach when he started Trust Academy. And he started that himself. If you go back and look at his reality show, you can see it. He started that because he wanted to coach his kids, just like a lot of us coach, because we wanted to coach our kids. Shador wasn't that good of a football player. He wasn't that good of a quarterback. That's why he didn't have no office. Let's just be real about that. So Jackson State was in a deficit upside downwards, just like all your Black colleges. If you go and Google right now all the HBCUs and see their endowment, you will see that, you could buy Livingstone University that's up the street from me. You could buy Livingstone for $5.6 million. Right? So Black colleges don't make a lot of money. So NCAA governs us different. We were all NAIA schools first before we came to NCAA, and we wanted TV time, and NCAA dangled some money at us. And so we all jumped ship from NAIA and came over to NCAA. The reason I know this, I did extensive research with a lady from NAIA, and she told us that she had money for Black colleges to come back, and they had more scholarship money. So let's break this shit down. Here we go. Can I cuss on here?
Go ahead, bro.
So, because I get passionate, I get real about. So at a Division I school, right? Penn State, University of Maryland, Michigan, you have 53 scholarship players, right? 53 scholarship players. You want to know where the NFL get the 53-man roster for them? It all goes hand in hand. 53 scholarship players, right? At Division II, you have 26 scholarship players. Y'all with me?
Yep.
All right. So at a regular school like University, let's say University of Maryland, right? If University of Maryland has 10 scholarship players that's getting ready to either graduate or go to the NFL, they got 10 scholarships that open up. So the coach goes out and he looks for 10 players that he can replace, or if he got a player that's on that team that's not on scholarship, that might have been a walk-on that he can earn a scholarship, they give him that scholarship, this, that, and the other when the scholarship open up, right? So what happens is NCAA, once the kid signs that, sends his faxes, his paperwork on signing day, he is now owned by that university. University of Maryland owns the rights to that kid, right? Name and likeness. That's why the kids was fussing before, because once you sign the Wichita, you don't even get, they can use it on football games, EA Sports can use your description and everything, and you never get paid for it, but you can't even sue about it because the university gave them the rights because they own the rights once you signed on signing day.
But they're getting paid now though from NIL for that.
But also they did sue. These two O'Bannon brothers sued them.
Yeah, the O'Bannon brothers sued, and that's who we should be thanking for the NIL deal. Should be Charles O'Bannon and Ed O'Bannon. They sued, and these kids don't even know who the hell they are because that started back in 95, 96. Yeah, and they don't even know who they are. That's the reason. That's the reason that these kids are getting the NIL deals, though. But it's deeper than I'm gonna tell you. The NIL deals some bullshit too, but we'll talk about that too. So once you got the 10 scholarships, and once the kids sign, now what happens is NCAA will ask the University of Maryland, who is this scholarship being made out to? Now, it's not a 4-year scholarship. It's a 1-year scholarship. It's year-by-year scholarship. So who is this scholarship being made out to? And say, for instance, it's Duncan Anderson. So what happens is NCAA will write a check in the name of Duncan Anderson to the University of Maryland for the in-state tuition for 1 year.
1 year.
Tuition, and it covers my room, my board, my meal plan, and whatever else they promised me in the actual scholarship. So when I do my Pell Grant and I do my financial aid, that comes back to me about $6,000, $8,000 as a refund to me, right? That's what I can use to live on the whole school year. I get half one semester, I get half the other semester. Y'all feel me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and then they do that for all 10 of the athletes. Individual checks go to the school, right? At an HBCU, it's totally different. And see, this is what Dion didn't understand going to an HBCU. He didn't understand the situations and the criteria that happened at HBCUs. He couldn't just do what he wanted to do. And Coach Prime wanted to do it the Coach Prime way because it made logic, but that ain't the way HBCUs function. So if a coach got the same 10 kids that's graduating, right, or scholarships are opening, what happens is, say for instance, it's at a Morgan State University. And Morgan State tuition, how much is Morgan State tuition roughly about?
I don't know.
17, 20,000 a year.
Okay, let's say that.
So what NCAA do, we can't hear you, Troy.
Can't hear you, Troy.
You on mute. You muted.
And
you did it again.
They go by the in-state, right? The cheaper.
Yeah, in-state tuition.
In-state tuition. They go by in-state, which is even cheaper.
Right. So it probably be about 15,000, 15,000, right? So what they do is they send a check of the total of the 10 scholarships. So if it's 14,000, they send $140,000 check to Morgan State University, but it doesn't go to the football. Or it don't go to the football budget. It goes to the municipal pot. So remember when Dion was talking about it was some money in this municipal pot that was being, and he thought some money was being stolen? It wasn't being stolen. That's how it works at the HBCU. It goes into a municipal pot. And so the municipal pot is for everything that the HBCU got to take care of on campus. So if the art department is the next one on the list to get an upgrade, if the science department needs new laptops and everything else, it comes from the municipal pot. Well, guess what money is in the municipal pot? The scholarship money is in the municipal pot, right? So that's why when at an HBCU, all the coaches, and if you think I'm lying, you can call the coaches and ask them. You can call Coach Wilson up at Morgan. You can call the Coach Jackson down at Bowie State. Any way you want to call an HBCU, all the processes the same. You do your Pell Grant, and then you do your financial aid, and you bring back the total of what that is to us, and we will match the balance because it got to come out the municipal pot. And then they tell you you're on full scholarship. You're not on full scholarship because you might end up paying that Pell Grant or that financial aid back at the end of your 4 years. So you're not on full scholarship.
But my brother, I'm with you on that though. But don't you think Dion might have had an inkling of that? That's why he reached out. Like you said, he reached out. But when he was reaching out to people like the Jay-Z's or LeBrons or whoever that got the money for funding, he asking for funding to help this man giving up half his check. half his check, and he bought the sponsors in.
See,
like the other brothers were saying earlier, he bought the sponsors in to get them suits. Dion brought all his luggage with him.
Right.
All of it.
He had great resources. Now let me talk about that. The art department, I mean, the football locker room was already on the board to get an upgrade. It might have been 4th or 5th down the list, but it was already on the board. When Dion said he was going to give half his earnings back or half his salary back, they just moved it up. So it was already on the list to get, but that money never even went there. It was already on the list to get an upgrade for the football. If you go in and read the Wichita, it was already on the list, and you got to know how the municipal pot works, right? But the thing is this. Let me tell you why these guys or these people probably didn't respond to Dion when he was asking for the money. How many people, all of y'all probably got businesses or started a business or a hustle, right?
Right.
Right.
You asked to help fund you for your before dudes that you knew had money and stuff like that.
Enough to know that niggas ain't gonna do it.
Right. So the thing is this: you gotta understand, people that actually have money, they the hardest ones to get money from. You ain't getting no money from Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan owns Charlotte. I live in Charlotte. Everything got the Jordan logo. You ain't getting nothing from Mike, because the hardest people to get money from is the people that already have money. They want to see what skin you gonna put in the game. And everybody must have knew that Dion was, and I'm not saying he's Tyler Perry and all, but what I'm saying is this. The hardest thing to do is to send money to an HBCU. Let me tell you why. Because as soon as you send it, it's not going to where you want to send it to. It's going in the municipal pot. And most people that understand money understand that. And so my thing is this. Deion Sanders probably made $300 to maybe up to $350 million in his career. Deion Sanders wasn't hurting for no money. I promise you he wasn't.
Facts.
So him to give half of his salary was not, it's not like me and you, I'm broke. So I can't give half of my salary to Coach No, because I got to pay bills so once I get a come up, within the next 2 years, y'all can take half of that salary. I'm good right now. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't what we think it was. What happened was, and I strongly believe that Deion Sanders tried to do things the Deion Sanders logical way in his mind, because he understands business and everything else. And it doesn't go like that at HBCUs. Let me tell you what happened. I used to coach, and I'm going to tell you from experience. I used to coach at Dundalk High School, right? And I was at Dundalk High School for 8 years. And I took all these kids from the city and I transferred 43 of them into Dundalk High School. You ain't never seen no shit like that before. 43 kids come into a coach might bring 1 or 2 players to a school for football, for basketball. I transferred 43 kids. Everybody was like, yo, how are you getting these kids county addresses? I had a whole system, right, to get kids in school. Let me tell you, working at Dundalk High School was like being at a University of Maryland or Michigan State when it came to the booster program. We had a booster program for athletics, and then we had a touchdown club, which was just for football. The touchdown club will raise up to $53,000 for us just for football, right? Let me tell you where Deion Sanders went wrong at. And Deion probably would have made more money staying at Jackson State than he would ever make at Colorado if he understood the game, if he understood logic. You have to have accepted boosters for just football. Listen to me. City College alumni raises more money than any other school in Baltimore. They will have a crab feast and probably raise $100,000 that night by just selling tickets, right? But the thing is, why is the football, basketball program not funded properly? Because they don't have a booster club just for athletics. All that money gonna go into a pot and it's gonna get distributed throughout all the sports. So what happens is Deion should have got a booster club just for football and set up accounts where this stuff come directly into football. I think more millionaires and billionaires would have responded.
So brother, you should have tapped into Deion and gave him that knowledge.
Well, nobody wants to listen to it after it. Think about, do your girl listen to you until after it happens?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes, man, just putting that knowledge out to him or whatever, he might have been successful in that. When you say that he wasn't qualified to coach, right? There's so many other coaches that are not qualified. We just had Jeff Saturday on ESPN, and all of a sudden, he the coach of the Indianapolis Colts, not qualified. So, you know, it's all about giving people opportunities or whatever, and he took the opportunity and ran with it. And he took the opportunity and ran with it, and I understand what you're saying. He's probably not going to make that money at Colorado, but I think that him going to Colorado, a Big 5 school, is going to open up doors for other black coaches that will never get the opportunity to walk in those doors. That's what I truly believe.
Right, but
hey, Dunk, you said so you telling me that the D1 schools, when they get funding, they get their football get direct funding? They don't have to
the program. Basketball goes directly to the program. Why do you think they do the Jimmy V thing? It goes directly to where the source.
And most schools are funded by the football programs anyway. The football programs bringing the most money.
Football, basketball bring the most.
Football hire is the most important hire you're gonna make. It's the most impact hire you're gonna make, even in high school. That football coach got more pull than the actual principal in administration. And so that's what the problem was. And the president didn't like Deion Sanders. He didn't like the way Deion Sanders talked. He didn't like the way Deion Sanders talked to people. And what happened was Deion Sanders just didn't understand the protocol and how things go down the ranks. And they got people to answer you. They can't just do it the way Deion want to do it. They're going to get audited. They got people to answer to. And that president, I'm pretty sure he loved his money.
It's just like anything else.
You don't think Deion coming from where he come from. So you talking about a brother that's coming from the bottom to the top that made it and been through college, pro. So he know the ins and outs. And so maybe his language is on the next bar to me, coming from the NFL.
Right.
Deion had been through the mountaintop. So it's like for him, it's like, yo, this what got to be done. I'm telling you what got to be done. I'm telling you from what I walked through.
Okay. But you gotta know at every job is protocol. You can't just
I'm with you on that.
And you didn't go to your supervisor first with the problem. Like we already know at every job and it's a protocol. And so he was coming in with his own logic. You know what I mean?
I think it's dysfunction. It's dysfunction that needs into corruption. It's dysfunction and corruption that needs to be changed. Right. So what he was trying to do is start change. And if he'd have put that change at Jackson State, it'd have been changed through all the HBCUs. Because it shouldn't be municipal, it should be changed. And that's the problem. It's no change. If you don't make change, it's going to always be the same. Just because it's put in place don't mean it was right.
He spoke about that when he was talking about where the money going. If you saying we sold out 60,000 and you counting up 28,000 from ticket sales, where the bread at?
Right, but you gotta remember, the stuff when the money come in, it gets distributed through all the sports. It's not just don't just do the football. Because the HBCUs is governed different. The door sales at a basketball game at an HBCU get dispersed through all the sports. Even when you go to your high school, them ticket sales that go when you're paying at the high school, it gets dispersed through all the sports.
Yeah, it go back to the high school. I get that. I see that. I understand that. Right. I'm just said so on a larger scale. The bigger schools have more boosters, have more programs and things like that. That's how they get their money.
Their alumni make more money, so the alumni donate more because they got more taxes.
But why? The difference is why when the NCAA write the check, they write it to the pot to the HBCUs, but for the individual in D1. That's where the change need to be at.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It ain't the corruption in HBCUs. The corruption is we need to have a sit down with NCAA and find out why they govern us different than they do the big colleges.
That's what I was talking about, brother. Corruption's in the whole thing.
Nobody don't want to ruffle no feathers. They don't want to ruffle the right feathers. They want to ruffle the feathers and make it seem like it's the HBCUs. Now we're going to turn our backs on HBCUs again. I think this whole thing with Deion, and it's just my perspective, set us back about 5 years.
Why?
Because of the simple fact that look at the kids that decommitted from Jackson State. Look at the kids that he was bringing in that decommitted. Look at all the kids that's going to leave Jackson State now. And even if they don't go with Coach Prime, they're going to go to other schools. Right?
Okay.
How do you replace?
But that happens. That happens every year, though. That happens every year at some school. at some school. This and what we and what how do you replace it? I hear what you about to say. How do you replace it? The next man step up. The next father, the next black man step up.
You gotta understand, like when we put it, this is why I was talking about he wasn't qualified for that position. This is why. Jackson State knew he wasn't qualified for the position. He had never even been a head coach, so he don't even know how to govern as a head coach. Right? This is what caused a lot of rift and bumping heads in the beginning, because I'm telling you, Deion was going off his own logic. He ran when he wanted his kids to be good, he started his own program. So he can govern it the way he wanted to govern it. It was called the Truth Academy. And then when they wasn't going to give Sandor any office because he wasn't playing against good competition, he was only playing against charter schools, he transferred them into another school, but it was already a head coach. So he taught the head coach to let him be the offensive coordinator there. And we watched games on ESPN and we seen it ourselves. My problem is this. When you give a person a position that you know they're not qualified for, you're basically taking a chance on them, right? That's what Jackson State said. But Jackson State was in a deficit, so it was a win-win for Jackson State. We knew Deion could bring in players. We knew he could bring in the show. He going to shine a light on us. At least we're going to make money from ticket sales. And so Jackson State, you got to understand, we in a deficit. Even though we're going to get you your money, Deion, we got bills we got to pay. Even like when you get your check, you want to spend some money on stuff you got, but if you're back on bills, you gotta, use people that you owe money. You gotta get that. That's priority right now, right? And so the thing is, I really believe that when Deion left and all these kids that's leaving, there's a lot of other kids that was going to, because they couldn't go to Jackson State, they was going to the Morgan State, they was going to the Norfolk States, they was going to FAMU. They wanted to play against Deion. These kids are going to decommit from that now. And they're going to go to other schools. So I think it set us back. You're not going to get another Deion Sanders or person you can put on a pedestal. Like
you don't need another Deion Sanders. You need the next man. You need somebody to come in and pick up the flag where he just that he just embedded in the ground, pick it up and run with it and carry with it right now. So I mean, you can't like we like everything that we say about the Deion allegedly, because he ain't sit down and he ain't talk to us and say, we just going on how we think we feel, how you think you feel, and all that. I just want to throw that out there. Right. But you, man, look, they gave him a chance. They took a chance on him. He did what's the word? He did what he needed to do. He did what he needed to do to solidify, satisfy that contract right there with them. Like they're on the map. Yeah, we wouldn't even be talking about a Jackson State if Deion Sanders ain't never go there.
Right.
We wouldn't even be talking about an HBCU, right? We was talking about no black coaches in the NFL. We was talking about black coaches. That was the topic for the last few years. One just got fired in Miami, and it made me bring a whole nother liking to Pittsburgh. And I'm a Baltimore Raven fan, right? But I love Pittsburgh. I love the Rooney family for what they did for black people in football. I always want them to win if we ain't winning, my nigga. That's just how I feel. Right. You understand? So we talking about no black coaches, right? We talking about how we are affected in D1, D2, where our stance is.
Right.
And this man moving through the ranks.
Let me ask you this. You coached before, right?
Right.
And I want everybody to be honest. Do players follow schools or they follow coaches?
They follow coaches.
So now you understand why I said, how is somebody going to pick up that torch?
The next man got to come.
Somebody got to.
The characteristics who going to have the
you can do it. You telling me you can't go coach at Jackson State?
I can, but nobody don't know me to follow me.
All right. So listen. So this is
94, 93.
So listen to what I'm telling you.
Jersey. We had the Jerry Curl must be the money.
I'm gonna send this.
How the hell am I gonna? And I know, and this is the thing. I'm a way better coach than Deion. I know that hands down.
I'm just gonna let you know I'm sending this in as your video contract to Jackson State tomorrow morning. I'm just letting you know that Friday morning.
The thing is, Joe, is iconic coaches leave schools every year, right?
But they don't leave black colleges. This is the problem. And let's go back to what. Remember what David Banner said, on his podcast, and this made so much sense to me when he told me when the blacks left the South and went north. Remember what he said? He said,
"No, I didn't see it.
Left South and they went north. The blacks that went north, we covered for y'all. We made sure they didn't shoot at y'all and everything else. But y'all owed us a responsibility. Y'all was supposed to go north and make it, and then come back and get us."
And suppose that's what he's doing. Suppose he's that's what I'm saying.
How is he going to help blacks in Colorado? How is he going to help HBCUs at Colorado?
Listen, didn't he just take 10 black kids out of a situation to play in Jackson State?
10 black kids. How is he going to help HBCUs at Colorado?
Hold up. We don't know what his money do. If he's still supporting and still giving back to Jackson State, if he let Jackson State on the up and up, then shoot, he is supporting. It just ain't the school that we want. It just, what you say?
Jackson State's still in the deficit.
But bruh, I understand. I do understand what you're saying. But it's like Dion carrying, that's a lot of load to carry on your shoulders by yourself. Look at what if somebody like Michael Irvin stepped in? He passionate.
Right.
What if Ray Lewis? What if Ray Lewis
on Sundays?
I'm just saying, a Ray Lewis go coach. It got to be more than just Dion.
Right.
All these brothers.
You need a person on that level. You're absolutely right. You need a person on that level. He said he's leaving his assistant coach behind. Look what Dion was doing. Look what he was doing on YouTube. Look what he was doing to create video content.
His son did that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to have somebody that's going to be on that level. If
everybody ain't a coach, bro.
But he left. But he kind of left a blueprint.
I don't think it's a blueprint. I don't think it. So
that is a blueprint.
Get every kid to transfer from other schools. Give me all the talent at this school, and let's be real. Let's be real.
No, he told them boys sitting in that room, don't jump in that portal. Stay here, finish it out. He told them straight up, man to man.
He was at Jackson. What was his blueprint?
The blueprint probably was the win, was to succeed.
No, the blueprint was he got great players that would want the regular D1s to come to Jackson.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about as far as recruiting.
But bro,
that's recruiting.
That's every college. But that's every college.
Right. But we just said players follow coaches.
Okay.
So what other coaches gonna get kids to leave Alabama? What other coach gonna get the #1 player in the nation to come to Morgan State?
Hey, but listen, we don't know who the other coach is. We don't know who the next man is. 4 years ago, we don't know who the other coach is.
Right.
4 years ago, we didn't even know Dion was going to do this. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So we watching his ride right now. Yeah, I mean, we watching him come up, like you just said. He shouldn't have been coaching. Now he coaching in Colorado.
Right.
Right. So I mean, obviously he got to be doing something. He got to be doing.
He wasn't qualified for that job. And Jackson State took a chance, and in that chance, Dion was elevating himself. He wasn't going to elevate Jackson. He elevated Jackson State. We know about Jackson State now. Jackson State still got as many bills as they had before they get.
And guess what? He did his job. He got him a couple more commercials that they should be able to benefit off of. Somebody got to be a man in that building. I'm not going to put that all on.
Somebody got to step up.
Somebody got to be a man in there to realize and say, "Hey, yo, look, we got to go get the next best thing. Bring the next best thing here, and let's keep this roller coaster. Let's keep this train rolling." Yeah, I mean, somebody got to do that. Somebody got to say. I'm telling you, I was sitting in your resume. I'm sitting in this video.
The culture, but my brother, look at the culture. Look at the culture. First of all, we talk about being black and proud. We at HBCU, so you know how we do. I don't care where you at, Hampton, Howard, whatever. Take your pick. Just being black and how we move and how we operate with the culture. And to have a dude like Dion come in, Dion was the culture before it even jumped off when he was at Florida State. He been rocking. But I'm looking at it like it gotta be more. I'm looking at the other football players, like I was speaking earlier, that played in the NFL, that got the knowledge. They may not be qualified as a head coach, but then you get pro level and you a Super Bowl champion. Somebody got little knowledge to get in there and do something, but his interaction more with being a man, I think his interaction with preaching about life, preaching about being what it takes to become a man, molding, not only becoming a winner, but molding and shaping young men. He having fun doing it. He a father figure to a lot of them in there. And, you know, and he a winner. Deion won on every level, and he played baseball. He don't won on every level.
Right.
And he trying to get them to win in life as well.
So you support my argument right now. Who the hell gonna do that next?
Everybody.
I could get Troy to do it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, how many Negroes, hold up, Troy, 1 second. How many Negroes you know have played in the Super Bowl and won it and played in the World Series too? How many? Name them.
In the same week,
Bo Jackson. Did Bo Jackson go home run?
He ain't win no. He ain't win the Super Bowl or World Series. Or Super Bowl. He ain't win the Super Bowl either.
But he put it like this. He hit a home run and scored a touchdown in the same damn week.
I mean,
but look,
I agree. That kind of figure like that, you will never get again. But you'll still get another guy in there that can do some of the same things he did because he laid down the groundwork.
Let me tell y'all something. Just get a coach. Like I kind of agree with Kim and said. Next man up, yo. You're not gonna find another Deion. Deion, people got coaching Michigan screwed for real, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. Like, you gotta have some knowledge of the game, no matter what you coach. That's true. Okay. But Deion is not a coach. Right. Deion is a motivator. Right. People get all like you got coaches. You got a lot of these guys that's coaching right now, and I just be looking at them and be laughing because a lot of them is too much about X's and O's. Coaches ain't all about X's and O's. Coaching is about what I can get out my players, how much I can squeeze out my player. That's what coaching is about. It's about motivating. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I see Timmy to tell you. Timmy coached with me. Ray coached with me before, right? Basketball. I don't know basketball. I don't know offense and basketball, but I know defense. One thing I know about basketball, though, and I won at basketball as a player and as a coach. I don't know no X's and O's basketball. Kimmy to tell you, I had one play in basketball. What was my play, Kimmy?
Hack.
No, no. My play in basketball, when stuff was getting out of all out of whack, get it to my best ball handler, and I want to see 3 passes before a shot, unless you wide open. Now, defensively, everybody play D. If you ain't playing D, that means you tired, you coming out the game. Don't be mad. You did it. I see you suck and win, you did it. And everybody got 5 fouls. That's my coaching style. I would leave 55 out there. I leave 55 fouls on the floor. No layups. You know what I'm saying? And you can look at one of the, see, I got some of the beliefs Duncan got. Duncan got this one. Remember the one you had, Duncan, when you break down the basketball, you break down a basketball game.
The turnovers, y'all.
Y'all need to watch that. That's exactly that one. That breakdown Duncan did on breaking down a basketball game. Yep. That's exactly how I coach. Yo, I'm all about defense. If you can break down the run,
turnovers, and you could show
if you basketball, if you can run, right. I got a job for you. I can find a job for you.
Right.
If you can run, I got a job for you. Even if it's just somebody to come in, look, he's scoring too much. You know what to do. You know what I'm saying? But it's coaching, yo, at any sport. It ain't about all X's and O's. Right. It's what you get out.
It's how you can get the guys to.
Prime,
it's how you can get the guys to execute. And
he's a motivator. He can get stuff out of people. Right. He gets them all. Every last man on that team will run through a brick wall for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We had coaches like that. Y'all know Harp and y'all know Al.
Yep.
Down Northwood. Harp and Al was the biggest motivators I know to this day.
Right. I mean, you gotta remember.
Anybody that played for Harp and Al,
I played for
will
Durham
run
Wade.
through a brick wall for them dudes, man.
I played for Durham Wade.
And that's what coaching is all about.
Durham Wade wasn't the greatest.
They just need a good man, a man that can lead men to come in there and coach.
So
All right.
the same way I played for Daryl Wade, he wasn't the greatest excellent old coach.
Yeah.
But he was a great motor. You'll run through a damn wall for coach because you.
And I'll take it back.
You know what I mean? So, but the thing is, and that's what made me and motivated me to become a great coach because I was coached so wrong growing up. You know what I mean? And so I went to clinics. I actually learned from Urban Meyer. I learned my system from Urban Meyer himself. You know what I mean? I learned the system from Chip Kelly himself. I learned from O'Brien when he was at Penn State. You know what I'm saying? I put it all in a bowl with my personality and I mix it up. And that's why I got an offense that nobody can stop or whatever. Right. And it's the same thing. The same thing with, like I always tell y'all with Lamar. The Lamar problem is the same thing. He haven't been coached. Lamar been the best player on his team since he was in Little League.
The best athlete. The best athlete.
Yeah, best athlete. But you know what I mean? Since he was in Little League. And so the problem is this at the end of the day is coaches don't coach you when you got talent. They coach your talent.
Correct.
So you got to remember, like nobody never taught him how to read a defense.
Like Michael Vick. Just like Michael Vick.
He probably been on the center probably 12 times between high school and
college. I'm gonna go out and come back in.
And so since he only been on the center about 12 times, you can't take him to a team and put him in a pro set. Because in a pro set, when you get under center, when you go to make your first fake or your handoff, you turning your back to the defense.
To the defense, right.
Right? And if you already can't read no defense, remember, when you turn your back in that 1 or 2 seconds, people then shift and moved. So you don't even know what you're looking at now. If you remember when Joe Flacco first came into the Ravens, we loved Joe Flacco because Flacco was getting the ball out of his hand early. I know as a quarterback coach that when a kid don't know the offense, he go to his first read, second read at the most, and he get the ball out of his hand. If the first read is open, he getting it out. Once they start getting familiar with the offense, they pat the ball. Now they're going through their progressions.
Right.
They're taking it for granted now, and they're not even going with their first read like they used to that made them successful. So we started seeing Flacco getting sacked. And like, why are you holding the ball so long? Because he's reading defenses now. Somebody that taught him too much. Right? Lamar's doing the same thing now. Remember the last couple of years, you seen Lamar on Sports Center every Sunday with Player of the Week. One of the top 10 plays. He ain't did that none this season because they turned him into a tiger when he's already a lion because they changing his whole makeup. They want him to become a pocket passer. Just like I used to tell about Cam Newton because I was a quarterback coach. That's why I talk about quarterbacks. So then I talk about Cam Newton. When Cam Newton was in the spread option offense, him running the ball was how he protected himself. That's how he protected himself. When he's sitting back there, he's unprotected. Him actually running the ball, and they're like, yo, he got to stop running. Well, that's the only way for him to protect himself. These goddamn defensive linemen running as fast as he running off the edge.
That's why they changed. That's why it's changing, and you got to have a mobile quarterback opposed to that old school Tom Brady nonsense because everybody's running as fast as the wide receivers and as fast as the running backs. And now you got to be able to outrun them. And that means you got to be mobile or you'll get ate up.
You're going to get ate up because that defensive tackle, that offensive tackle ain't holding water. Not on them athletic, not on them Aaron Donalds, man, they not holding water on them guys. So the thing is this, let me ask y'all this. Y'all have seen throughout the history how offensives have changed. We went from I formation to power I to wishbone to full house to run and shoot to West Coast offense to A12 to double wing, single wing, chicken wing. We done went to every damn offense, spread option, spread. What has never changed? Defense.
Yeah.
Defense has never changed throughout the years.
Watch this, Duncan. I'm going to make it real simplistic for you, though. The reason why offense has really changed the last couple of years is because more women are watching football and they buy the merchandise. And that's what – and women are not going to go to a game and watch a 3-0 game. So you got to have an offense that got to be explosive. And that's why the game has changed completely because we're not buying the merchandise like them.
No.
And because they want to make – women going to have everything on and don't know nothing about the game at the game.
Right. Absolutely.
Now, look. Now that we're talking about women, right? Let's switch it up because we've been on that for like an hour and a half. Brittney Griner was you good. Brittney Griner was just released.
I got mixed emotions.
Hey Duncan.
Just released.
Hold up, KB. Duncan, you got to come on Friday and come to our sports talk show. Since
Okay.
you're a sports guy. So you got to start coming in and tuning in with us.
I want to be key on that, boy. Y'all see his head? There's a lot of information up there.
Yeah. So, hey Ray, you as well, brother. So on Fridays we do a sports talk show. Me, Troy, Taz, and y'all brothers can come and join us this Friday at 6:30. Because I like the conversation, I like the information, and that's what we need. Black brothers doing positive things. So definitely come on Friday, brothers.
Definitely.
Hit the like button, subscribe, y'all share, let everybody know we live. So check this out. Brittney Griner was just released.
I got Miss Motion.
Ray, who did they trade her for? Who they did the swap for?
One of the most deadliest men in the
Victor. What's his name? Victor. Victor.
Arms of death.
Go ahead, Ray.
Death deal.
Yeah,
Victor. I thought they released the white dude, but they didn't.
Man.
They left him in there.
They make him look like a monster. Believe me, the monster is us.
No, they only using that term. They only using that term because he was brokering. They only calling him a death dealer because he was brokering the deals. So of course that's his money in war. Right. That's how he make his money. Just like that movie they got out with Nicolas Cage, Lord of War.
Right.
That's pretty much what dude was doing. Right. I'm brokering what you need. So he going to Asia, Africa, Russia, wherever, whoever got the cash, I got the goods.
Right. So what you think he's gonna do when he come home?
The same thing.
I think he had
time to think about how to do it better.
But if he jump back in the saddle, but see, it's the same game as somebody that's out here on the block that's pitching. But you think they're not gonna watch you when you first get out the Bing? Exactly. Trust and believe. They know this dude resume. So all eyes gonna be on him.
Look at his protection now.
Yeah, he go back to Russia.
We got people there. We got a man there.
Huh?
We got
trust and believe. Trust and believe is we got somebody over there in Russia to watch him. Trust and believe that.
So check this out.
Russia got more Russians than we got men over there to watch them.
So listen, right? So listen.
They can't even handle the Ukrainians right now.
Listen, without going to that, right?
That's why they got him released.
What about just the mere fact that it's the arms dealer for one of our citizens? How many citizens you think from the United States are locked up abroad somewhere because of something that they did coming back through customs?
They didn't even know.
Didn't know the rules.
No, I disagree. I disagree with you on that, though. I disagree.
Why you say that? You think she's worth the an arms dealer? You think she's worth?
I don't think she's worth the arms dealer, but she my sister. I'm glad that she made it back home. Right. But I disagree with
black women on this show.
I'm glad she's back. But I disagree with the statement that my brother just made that she didn't know. She knew. Yeah, because
no. I didn't say she didn't know. I said he was talking about other people. He was talking about other people. I didn't say she didn't know. I didn't say she didn't know. Other people.
Other people that don't know. Other black women that stranded. No, she knew.
I don't think
because she traveled over there all the time.
The cartridge was empty, right?
Man,
I don't think she would have took that risk if you really knew.
Man, listen.
Yes, I do.
Listen, Dump. I'm out here, right?
My cartridge back when you got back here.
Man, listen, man. I'm out here, and she knows she got contraband, right? She know that. She knows she a contraband person and anything. She gonna check her shit a couple times before she walk through that.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think she knew what she was taking. Like she couldn't take an empty cartridge. It's like you've taken a.
Why you got an empty cartridge? First of all, why you got an empty cartridge?
Well, it's like this. So what we saying is, if you had a pack of cigarettes and you smoked all the cigarettes out of the pack, right? And you took the box with you.
Why you ain't throw the box away when you took the last cigarette out?
That's what I'm saying. Like, she just took the box with her. She might not want to buy another one. She probably wanted to get as soon as she got home going. You know what I mean? People, you know, you in the game. People need them for different reasons.
Big bro,
I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you like this, right? From being in the military and everything. When you go overseas, you don't fuck with them people's law. So whether if you got the box and they jam you up for the box, they probably don't even want you to have it over here. Period.
I agree.
You understand what I'm saying?
I didn't know it was illegal to spit. I didn't know it was illegal to pee outside.
Right. It ain't.
People doing 2 years for peeing outside.
And that happens in American law. And they say ignorance. They say ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law.
Right. So
all I'm saying is I'm glad a sister is home. Right. Yeah. From that aspect. Right. But I'm just looking at what's going on as far as it's other people. I know it's other people out here that can't get home.
Right.
What made hers top notch when she breaking the law? She was actually breaking the law.
Because it fit the narrative. It fit the narrative. And for them for Russia, like I told you, when Russia for her, Russia want their dude back. But when the United States first proposed it, oh, we need to get Brittney out. This the people that we're gonna let loose. So Russia wanted to do the deal behind closed doors. So for the US to be like, look, we want BG out, everybody going crazy, get out. Look, these the dudes that we're gonna let loose. So Russia like, oh, okay, it's a spotlight on it. Since the spotlight on it now is magnified, we don't want those dudes. This the dude that we want now. So now we're gonna put the ball in your court. Let Victor get out. Right. United States ain't want to play ball with that at first. So, they played right into Putin's hands. Let me get my guy. You can have her. Let me get my guy. If that dude wouldn't have got out, she'd have still been sitting in prison in that penal colony. Trust and believe. Right. This is war. And that's the thing that I feel like my people don't understand. Now, I'm as part of my job, I still travel overseas. I'd have been in regions that y'all see on the news I'm over there partying in right now. I done been all around this joint a few times over. I just got back from Alaska, but that won't nothing. I'm out there at Deadliest Catch. But I say that to say I was out there at Dutch Harbor, out there at Deadliest Catch, baby. That joint vicious. But make a long story short, I ain't even gonna say black people. I'm gonna say Americans in general. If you're not used to traveling, so I've been doing this the last 18, 19 years. First went at being 19 overseas. A lot of people got that American concept of mind, and they do it all the time. Because almost every country I've been in, my co-workers, there's always white boys getting beat up because they in that I'm American. So fuck what your laws are. Don't come up to me. I'm American. That's the worst thing you can say. Now you're really about to pay the piper. I got co-workers that I sailed with that's locked up right now to this day. The captain come down, had captain's call with everybody. And of course, he got to give a speech. You already know what the result gonna be because we had a briefing about it. So I know Brittney Griner done won 2 championships for Russia. She been over there between 5 to 6 year period. It ain't no way in hell she don't know what the country law is.
Facts. That's what I said.
It ain't no way she don't know, but they know, and they probably been giving her a pass. This is my opinion. This ain't facts. I feel like they might have been giving her a pass just because of who she is. But what she failed to realize is they might have known she had that that cannabis oil on her. She probably do it every time she come through the airport. But this is war now. This is sacrifice. Yeah, you a casualty of war now.
You're a pawn in the game.
Yeah, different time.
So this is how it go.
A different time now. Before we wasn't at war, so it was okay. Before we wasn't at war, so it's okay. Now that we are at war, you're gonna be a casualty. That's right. What it is.
Remember, they was expediting everybody. Everybody was rushing to get out of there because of what was going on with Russia and Ukraine. And so I'm not making no excuses. I know you think because everything you rushing to do something, they're gonna overlook a lot of people because there's a lot of things going on. So I think she thought that, well, if it's an empty cartridge, I could just probably, you know what I mean? I'm not making no excuses for it.
I don't believe that. I don't believe it was empty.
She too big. I don't believe it was, Duncan. She too big.
You know, think about it though.
Can't hide.
If they like, yo, they bombing, like, how many of us really been in the war?
Us, all of that, 3 of us on this motherfucker phone.
We've been over there. I've been over there when that general alarm sound. But what I'm saying is, I think it won't empty. I think it was oil in there. I think because if that was the case, when they first arrested her for that was the case. The lawyer that she got probably was like, let me switch this up real quick. If you notice, the lawyer said, oh, this is part of her medication that she had to take. Right. Now they're trying to give a reason why she had it. Because if that was the case, they would have never came out like that. But when you in these foreign nations, what a lot of Americans don't understand, black people included, these foreign countries don't give a fuck about none of that. You broke the law. And I told Kemet, I told Troy, I said, she lucky she in Russia. One of my favorite countries to go to is Singapore. Mm-hmm. And Singapore, one of the most prettiest countries. That was the Dubai before Dubai, but it's the Asian version.
You can't even chew gum in Singapore.
Singapore, if you get caught with marijuana, that's death penalty. They would have had an ass out there on closed circuit TV for the whole island to see. That's death penalty.
Got stuck over there. Lucky. I almost got stuck. Remember when I was in Italy, when I put my hands on somebody, and that made me start thinking.
They came and locked me up in Italy. Can't tell you, secret police came and got me when we was in Naples.
What I did, I ain't know where I was at. I smacked the motherfucker right in front of the police station.
Hey, Troy, you always needed a hug, yo, since we was younger. You always needed a hug.
No, it wasn't me. It was Ray knew what happened. It was they call it the slap around the world.
Right. But that's just like but
nothing but walk across you. You like, oh, this father disrespecting me.
But that's just like in the Philippines. Obama got into it with the Filipino president of that country at the time. You know what he said? He didn't give a fuck about what Obama was talking about because it's the Philippines. His law was, if I catch you selling dope around here, matter of fact, he told all the police, all the SWAT team, whoever you catch selling dope, that's a green light to kill them on sight. So the UN ain't like that. They up in arms. But the Philippines ain't part of that NATO pact. He was trying to roll with Warsaw. He was like, so what? And if you were on drugs at the time in the Philippines, if you relapse more than 3 times or whatever, he was killing them too. He was like, he's sick of. I mean, that was harsh though, but the dope dealers, that was hard. That was cold-blooded. The dope dealers though, you selling heroin and all that, he was catching them with that ice or whatever. He told the police, don't even worry about bringing them in. You got the green light to go ahead and pop them and get rid of them on the spot. They had on the spot green light to do that. So you gotta know this shit when you traveling to these countries and everybody like, oh, we gonna turn up. Like I told KB, I was like, when I go and I know I'm about to get assignment, Troy done been through it, Kay done been through it. I always check my bag 2 or 3 times. My sister like, why you keep going over your bag? And I said that Brittney Griner story, the prime example why I always double check, triple check, quadruple check my bag, because you don't know what country you in. Fuck around being Kuwait City or something like that. You got something on you and you think they're gonna be sweet with you. It ain't happening. And you American, you getting thrown in the meat grinder. And I try to tell this to a lot of my buddies, like, yo, when y'all traveling, be mindful of where you at. Right. Please check your bags, because that little shit right there, what you think is nothing, or which everybody in the U.S. was like, oh, that's nothing. She ain't had nothing but a little bit of oil or cannabis on it. Yeah, but in some countries, they kill you over that.
Right.
For breaking the law.
I just need to know what countries I can't take shea butter in.
I done been in them.
You gonna
and I'm still traveling in and out them joints.
We gonna get you all the shea butter you want down Jackson State. I'm trying to tell you.
Hey, yo, hey, Troy. I mean, and Kevin, I would turn Jackson State into something DR because look, the thing is this: I understand how to create a booster club just for football, right? And so when my coaches needed to get paid, I would have had a PayPal account set up. I would have had a Cash App account set up that would have been for all of their pay, for everybody that's viewing me, for everybody that wanted to support, not just the Tyler Perry's and Jay-Z's and people that we going after, but the entire nation to enjoy what I'm doing for HBCUs. And they wanted to continue and lift up the HBCUs and help. Let me show you the real blueprint, not just transferring players in, not just transferring apples in to play against a whole league of oranges. But that's what was going on. He was transferring apples in to play against a league of oranges. Because everybody at an HBCU, that wasn't their first pick. I promise you. I went to Virginia Union. That was not my first pick, bro.
Right.
So everybody that's at an HBCU is because they thought they was better than what they thought they were. And so they ended up at an HBCU because when I went to West Virginia and I seen Amos Earl there, I knew I wasn't going to get the running back position. I knew I wasn't. Amos already had the speed, everything. I was a good running back, but I wasn't no Amos. I wasn't no Liverpool. So I ended up going to Virginia Union. But the thing is this. I know now because of the knowledge that I have to start and understanding how HBCUs move and form and the forecast of them to start a booster club just for the football program. Then money goes in right to the football program, and I have somebody that's in charge of my booster club that I trust, and I pay him a good amount of money not to steal from me.
Knowledge is power, always.
So that's how the blueprint should be going to change. And the reason I did this research with NAIA because I was starting a program, and I'm still going to do it. It was a nonprofit organization called Black to the Future. And I was going to take all the HBCUs out of NCAA and show them why we shouldn't be in NCAA. And I was going to bring them over to NAIA for about 4 or 5 years. And then once we all settled at NAIA, I was going to move us on to starting our own sanctioned HBCU black college, all 100 black colleges across the United States. That was my goal. I still got something brewing right now where I'm gonna start a HBCU NCAA March Madness for just it's gonna be called home. It's gonna be called a reunion. It's gonna be called a family reunion. It's gonna get Division 1s and Division 2s to be in the same brackets together. Because it ain't
let me ask you this. Was they doing college game day before Deion got there?
No, they wasn't. That was the first time in history it ever been to.
They had college game day. That's what I'm saying. Like Deion, that dude brought a lot to the table, man, to put the spotlight on HBCU though.
You're absolutely right. But college game day is ran it's sponsored by Home Depot.
But they had never done it before though.
Home Depot ran by.
No, what I'm saying is as far as you get to see black cheerleaders, the step show. Right. We got black band. You know what we come for anyway. Everybody that's there, you know, battle of the bands, stuff like that. The drum majors on blast, all of that whole black college experience. But we all grew up, especially cats from the East Coast, because a lot of the black colleges on the East Coast anyway.
I wasn't there before because we had undefeated teams in North Carolina.
No doubt.
Great for years to the point where they had to go over to the Sun Belt. Right? Why wasn't it there before though?
Because me personally,
go ahead and say it.
Because we overlook ourselves. We don't even want to participate in the HBCU. This is what I always been saying. Why don't our top talent go to the HBCU?
Right. So
like why don't we go?
Now
so
we're supporting my argument.
Right. So we don't.
Was getting start going to HBCUs.
No, they still can. But see, I look at it different. I look at it. I look at it as
that's what they're doing now.
But hold up. But listen what I'm about to say. I look at it now like if I was somewhere sitting on the second or third string, right, or like you said, I'm first string, but I got to split time with somebody, and I'm black, and I can't go nowhere else. I might just team up and go to an HBCU now, because now I see what they did, how they went there and dominated. And his whole thing is some of these guys need to be up here playing elsewhere.
Who dominated?
Say that again.
Who dominated?
Who? Jackson State?
Jackson State dominate. Why they dominate though?
Because they had. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They're the best players.
They had the best players.
Right.
They had
the best players. We're gonna go all the way back down, and
go all
the way back down to one thing.
Yeah, but it could be. Yeah, the coach. It's gonna be the coach, but the next best is other motivators out here. It's somebody right now on somebody's special team coaching staff right now that if given the opportunity, they can succeed. And I'm not gonna downplay every other black football coach as a man out here to say that they won't be able to do it. They just don't have it. I'm gonna say they don't have the opportunity, like Deion didn't have the opportunity. Somebody gave him the opportunity, and boom, this is what he did. Now that should be opening up doors for opportunities. Somebody somewhere should be sitting there like, who the next best thing? It might not look like how we want it to look on paper. You understand? But that interview was killing. He nailed that interview.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? That's the person I'm gonna give it.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the person I'm gonna give an opportunity to. That's the people that need the chance. That's what I was just gonna say.
Right. Yeah. And so I'm gonna ask Troy this, right? With all that being said, right? Who is gonna be able to take that torch that Prime put down with all that charisma, all that motivation? Who we gonna be able to put there that's gonna make kids want to leave Alabama's to come to HBCUs again?
Hey, I'm say his assistant coach. He know the blueprint.
Right.
Is he Deion? See, kids wanted to play for Deion.
But listen,
they didn't care who his assistants was.
But what we know is in this world, it's not what you know, but who you know. You know that's a direct link to Deion.
Right.
You know that's a direct link. I'm gonna go play for that coach though. Why? Because I know what they got going on. I know what the foundation is.
Do people play names or do they play talent?
I understand. It depends.
Both, yeah.
It depends.
No, it don't.
You
know some guys that don't have a name that have way better talent than people we watch all the time.
Right.
Do people play names or do they play talent? Because I've been on the NBA circuit.
No, well, on that aspect,
I got beat out by Charlie Ward and I was better than him.
On that aspect, I say it depends. Because sometimes talent ends up being played and makes a name for itself. And then other times, more so not the name, it's the contract. But in your middle school, in your lower grades, it be the name, it be the who this person is. And in college, the coach's son.
And in college and in NFL. These guys were 5-star athletes before they got there, and there's people that come to be way more talented than them that never get to see the field because they don't got the name. Because the people that's buying tickets, they come to see such and such. They come to see such and such, who was a 5-star athlete that committed in this, that, and other. Even though he ain't good, I got to put him on the field because the boosters are bringing money just because they want to see him.
So that 5-star athlete need to take his tail to HBCU. Jackson State probably got, that's what I'm saying. They probably got to open it for you. If you know that you're sitting behind this person because of a name, go there and play. That's what I'm saying. I ain't going to sit behind nobody. I'm going to go play.
That's why I went to Virginia Union.
That's like the little girl. That's like the little girl from Philly. She go to Hampton. She chose Hampton. She probably could have went to a bigger school. The little girl that was on Sports Illustrated, Monet Davis,
that won the World Series. That won the World Series.
Right. She said she got tired. She wanted to be around her people. When she got to Hampton,
that's what Deion said.
She wanted to be around her people. I mean, but she is
on homecoming.
Yeah, but it won't cause of no coaches or whatever. It was just cause of atmosphere. Right. I want to be around my people.
That's how I am. I only want to coach at the HBCU. If I can't coach at the HBCU, I live 3 blocks down the street from the University of Charlotte. Biff Poggi just got the job down at the University of Charlotte. I know Biff personally. I've been on the field with Biff on 7-on-7. He told me he loves my offense where the quarterback only read one side of the field. He'll probably give me a job in a minute, but I don't want to coach there. I'm tired of making them money. I done made white people money my whole life. I want to do it for us. When do we get to a point where we got enough and we need to build for the legacy that's coming behind us?
That's why I'm sending.
But why ain't nobody want to back Dion though? So I'm going that. They should have backed him, and not just Dion. Like I said,
tell me what to do with my money if I don't believe somebody gonna be there.
But we can't.
But I'm with Troy now. Don't knock him because he got a $30 million contract. I'm giving up half the salary already. Yeah. Like my other brother just said, he done brought in all the sponsors with him. Like, come on, somebody put
as a coach.
I paid for my chance.
What else do you want with Dion from Dion at Jackson State? He didn't hit the ceiling. He said he was going to do. He said he was going to change the way we did HBCUs. He didn't.
He did.
He started. He started.
Still in a deficit.
But listen. This is what he did though. He shined the light on them. No, he shined the light on them. And when you shine a light on certain things, it creates change. He started the HBCU combine. You know, that never happened. He put a light on them, so that's going to initiate change. And I understand you're not going to get
he did a pro day at Jackson State.
Yeah, pro day. But what I'm saying is you're not going to get the same kind of character as Deion Sanders. But what he did was shine a light on it. So now more people are going to be looking at basketball. But more people are going to be looking at HBCUs now because he came there and did that. So he did create change. I understand that he's not going to get another guy like Deion, but you can get another motivator like KB was talking about. But what we don't understand about these HBCUs, you saying help us. Most of these HBCUs are owned by white people, not black people. So that's the difference. So even when we try to, you still gonna be making money for these white people if you go to HBCU because they're not owned by black people.
The thing is, the money coming back to my culture though.
I get you.
Like in Colorado, the money's not. They already got. They got their own. They got their own weed out there. You're not making no money. They already got their own money. You're making them more money. And you're gonna flood them with all our kids. But let me tell you what hurt me the most though.
Hold on. Before you go into that, because you said that I wanted to touch. You said that Jackson State is still in a deficit, right? But that ain't his fault because remember you said all the money that he brings in
go with in a deficit from the beginning. It wasn't his fault that they was in a deficit from the beginning.
Right. So the money that he bring in, the money that he brought in, because they brought money into the school, the money that he brought in, you said go to the pot. So he asking, well, where the money at? So it ain't. So he fulfilling you. So you say, I'm just answering your question when you said what has he done? Everybody said that he did. He did for Jackson State. Yeah, he did. Because if they in the whole $2 million, they probably was going to be in the whole $5 million.
Kieran, here we go. I got a problem with my house, right? I said I owe this amount of money in debt. I'm in a deficit. You like, Dunk, I need somewhere to play. I need somewhere to stay at, right? So my wife not comfortable with you being here because you really don't qualify to live in the house. But yo, Dunk, I'm gonna help you get out your deficit. I'm gonna help you get out your deficit. I'm gonna shine the light. I'm gonna help you get back to at least to even, right? All right, yo, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna get some heat. Cause she don't really, you know what I mean? You smoking. I'm gonna get some heat, but baby, he gonna help us get back to our deficit. And then he say, "Yo, we paying bills, this, that, and the other. Yo, where the money going at? I'm bringing money in, Doc. Where the money go? Yo, this is how things work here in this house." And this, that, and other, and we paying these bills. We got this, that, and other. And I'm sure.
Well, maybe I don't want you. Maybe I don't want you buying your wife them red bottles. I see she walking around there.
I got bills, and it's the way that the money go in the structure and this, that, and other that you probably didn't fully understand. But I'm telling you, said you was going to help me get out of this deficit. You was going to help me.
But you still got to understand, this is Duncan's house. You don't ask no questions in another man's house.
Right.
Just like when y'all said Dion asked him where the money at, you the football coach. Right. Who the fuck are you to be asking questions?
No, he asked him where the money. No. He's asking where's the money coming back for the team. He needs the money for the team. If I just go don't work like that. But right, so that's what he said. He said he ain't know that it don't work out. It don't work like that. Now you got your man. Now you know.
So Coach Prime, can you leave my office?
Hey, guess what? I will walk right to Colorado. I'm gonna walk right to Colorado. I'm gonna walk right. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk right to Colorado.
Right.
I'm gonna walk right to Colorado.
Money, instead of us sitting down and have a conversation, let's work some things out. Let's build, and we can do great things for the whole black community because we could change Jackson State.
But hold up.
You don't think he tried to do that?
But I got another thing though. The HBCUs ain't even one of them down there. What did they just? He was just beefing with him, right?
Florida State didn't want him. Auburn didn't want him. Everybody laughed at him because he didn't have the criteria to be a head coach. That's what I'm saying. He took a chance.
No, but hold up. No. Hold up. Before we even go to those schools, I'm just talking about the
resume before you actually get qualified.
I'm talking about the.
This one dude said he had an education, and they called him out. And they gave him the job. He wasn't even qualified. A couple years ago, he wasn't even qualified. He lied on his resume, and they called him out. So they don't even check those. They don't even check certain dudes' credentials, and they don't even have the credentials to be coaches.
But hold on, I'm talking about the
head coach. So, but what I'm saying is, you got to turn in a resume when you put in your resume. Now, Deion didn't really have to do a resume. He was Deion Sanders. They was taking a chance on Coach Prime.
Wasn't he beefing with other HBCUs? Wasn't he beefing with other HBCU coaches?
Why?
He wasn't swag. They said he wasn't swag.
They said he wasn't swag, right? So now what is it?
He wasn't swag.
So now what is it?
So what is Florida State?
Right. So what is he now? They ain't want him. They ain't even want him in swag. Look, the swag ain't even want him in swag, and now they mad that he left swag.
No, he packed now.
But I know. But I'm saying. But when he was swag, the swag ain't even want him to be swag. They said he ain't swag. Right. They said he ain't sweat.
He wasn't sweat. Like, I'm gonna tell you this. The SWAC has lost a lot of respect for me because the SWAC is turned into the celebrity coaching league. Eddie Robinson never coached before. Eddie George never coached before. The SWAC is giving these guys these. You understand what I'm saying? You got coaches. They building up their resume and credentials, and as he has the credentials, and y'all bringing in celebrity Hugh Jackson.
Well, they brought in Deion.
Right.
They brought in Deion too. He won him. But that's what ain't that what we want? Hey, but that's what we sitting here saying we need. Somebody else, the next man. Deion just came in, just outshined everybody. He just came in, outshined everybody.
Change the black culture, not re-rape the black culture.
I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. I
don't agree with that.
Deion had shit rocking around there, man. Deion and the type of
his name and likeness, not his.
But look at you trying to tell me that Jackson State won't exciting. I mean, I'm still pulling for Hampton Howard Morgan, but Jackson State, he had Jackson State rocking when he was there. His personality, how he interacted.
Game this year, every one of them.
And I can't be mad that
you couldn't feel that electricity.
I thought that he was. See, I went to an HBCU. Maybe that's why I'm so passionate about. And I thought Deion was going to actually create it because remember, my wave before Deion 10 years ago was Black to the Future. So I'm thinking like, okay, here go a person with a bigger name than I could possibly have that's going to help the HBCU because that's what I was doing. This is why I set up the tournament for the HBCU. This is why I set up the Black to the Future because I knew the black colleges need to be governed a whole different way. I did extensive research and I'm like, okay, Coach Prime is going to lead the joint and I could jump in with the race with him because he already got the name.
Hey, Deion about trying to get his kids in the league, man. That's why I don't think it's about the money. Everybody keep trying to say it's about the money and all that stuff like that. Yeah, man.
Not about the money.
Hey, D-Shawn. Hey, D-Shawn.
You don't need the money. It can't be about the money.
What I'm trying to say is, he can take that. He can get that.
He got a genuine concern, man. He got a genuine concern for the kids.
And that's right. That's his son.
He got in the coaching. Deion was retired from the league. He was sitting on his ass. He was like, Dad, what am I going to do next?
He was sitting on TV.
All right.
He was
now my
on
son's
TV.
going to play ball.
NFL Network.
It started off,
He was on the NFL Network. He was on the NFL Network.
He was on TV.
He was on TV. But then, now my kid's coming up. You know what? I'm going to put some time into my kid.
Hold on.
It started
hold on, Troy. Duncan, you saying Dion wasn't on the NFL Network?
No, I'm telling you, before all that started, I coached against him, right? When we coached against him in Atlanta, right?
Right.
Team shutdown, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know the only reason he was coaching is why
his kid.
His kid.
That's what we said.
Door and what's the older one? The middle kid, the middle son.
Shiloh.
They wasn't that good, bro.
Right.
Okay.
They was like
all right.
Marcus and Jeffrey.
So all right. It
was
all
like
right.
Marcus and Jeffrey, like Michael Jordan kids. They wasn't that good.
But we're not saying that the kids was good at anything. And what I'm saying is Dion is coaching because of his kids.
Right. The only way they was going to get looked at, the only way Shador was going to play
quarterback.
That's what you're supposed. Right. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's
what you're supposed to do.
That's what I'm saying.
He putting his sons in the best position right now to make it to the league.
Ain't that what Archie Manning did with Peyton and Eli?
But did he coach them in college?
He
got him in a position. He got him in a position.
Archie wasn't prime time. Archie wasn't prime.
The only way Shador was going to play if Dion was coaching at the school. That's why he told Colorado, I'm bringing him. This is your quarterback right now.
And that's fine.
That's what all of them do, man.
That's fine.
That's fine.
But the Manning's got their nephew coming out. He following in the same school with his uncles were legends, Peyton and Eli.
Connection.
I look at it as the same shit. And they already they hyping this little motherfucker up. They hyping him up. And he getting blown out by them black quarterbacks coming there busting his ass.
Connections and resources, man.
The owner is not taking a job at a college to make sure this goddamn kid play.
He is gonna make sure his kid play.
But they not taking a job at a college or coaching the team to make sure.
That's because they don't have the opportunity.
Yeah, from last week.
That's what I'm saying. Would we be talking about Shador?
Hey, but we making it. You arguing that? That's what he's supposed to do. You arguing what he's right. That's what he's supposed to do. So I'm
talking about when we say about Peyton Manning kids and everything. Their fault. Archie didn't take no job. They went to Ole Miss in Tennessee.
Yeah, his father ain't had to take the job. He probably was still coaching from his living room, fucking recliner.
Right. So
like he is now. He ain't got to. Hey, he prime. Archie Manning ain't prime time.
But ain't it going back to what you said about the name? That Archie Manning, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. So now the nephew of Peyton and Eli, they the uncles, and the boy father went there. So all three brothers played quarterback at that school in Louisiana. The nephew was going now, or the son, the grandson, he going now. He's still living off the name and getting the perks.
Right,
and with Peyton Manning,
what do the Mannings have? What do the Mannings have? What do Archie Manning have? What do they have? They got the football. They got the quarterback.
They got the quarterback camp. They do the quarterback camp.
And that's fine. Shador go to that too, and he go with Tom Brady.
Now look.
What I'm saying is they not personally taking a job.
That's fine, but that's fine. That's fine though. That's what he want to do for his son. Who cares?
And that's where it comes back to my argument that he was never qualified for the actual job at Jackson State. He did a great job with the coaches that he hired around him.
That's what leadership is about. That's what leadership is about. Leadership is about putting people around you to make sure you're successful. It's leadership.
You're right.
Not a bad thing.
Tell y'all how it is all about the money, man.
It's not, man.
Money can come on. Now look,
it's not. Because I can live about the money. Hold on. Kids.
Hold on. All right. If it ain't all about the money, all right, let's bring it like this. They got genuine concern, but over time, it's gonna become about the money. It's gonna become about the money. All I'm start off with genuine concern, like you said, I'm glad y'all brought up Peyton Manning. Archie Manning, he got in, he was a good quarterback. He's a legend at Ole Miss. He got all his sons in the football. They played quarterback and do. Now he got the quarterback academy, right? Genuine concern. Started out with his son. Then, all right, everybody know his son's official. All right, we can make some money off of this. let's have an academy because we certified. Let's have an academy. Let's charge such and such for them to come. Now, over time, it became about the money. Just like Dion. Started off, he wanted to coach because of his son. Then was his son, right? And along the way, he's helping a lot of people is benefiting from it. But even when he first came to Jackson State, it wasn't about the money. It was genuine concern. Okay, boom. But over time, okay, he get the winning. He gave them the best season they ever had. They about to go to the HBCU National Championship. Power Five's knocking on his door. I'm gonna take a quote from the young boy, the late Young Dolph. When money call, it's time to Geo. What do Geo spell? Huh?
Listen.
When money calls, it's time to what?
Yeah, it's time to go. But
Jay, all right, now look.
I think it's still more so with.
You was home, right? You was home. Okay, you had a couple dollars, this, that, number, but funds was getting low, and you ain't want to go to Alaska. You necessarily ain't want to do it.
No,
but money was calling, right? So what you did?
I made some good money this trip, though.
You made, but money was calling. So what you do?
But Troy, let's take it back to this though. But let's take it back to this, Troy. But hold up, Troy. If Ray was a millionaire, I bet you wouldn't have went to Alaska.
Fuck no.
How about that? So what you taking away from the fact that Dion is already a millionaire? So he's getting money and he can go on TV and make who knows how much money he want to make.
He's already on TV.
What his finances don't mean nothing. Look,
what I'm saying to you, your choice is it's about the opportunity for his kids because what Duncan said is his son was not that good. He wasn't going to play, so he making sure his son play. And when he want to make sure his son play, he made him play in high school. He made him play in.
Put it like this.
Now make him play in college.
Put it like this.
The door opened up for Colorado. Now his son gonna be playing in a Power 5 school, being on the highest stage. I have no problem with that.
Right.
Yo,
I have no problem with that at all.
Put it like this. I'm all right. I got, I'm all right financially right now. This, that, and that, right? I'm good. But all right, let's say like I get paid I might get paid like $225 a shift here, right? If the 2 to 10 guy call in, guess who's gonna stay and get another $200?
But see, Troy, you taking it from our perspective, though.
What I'm saying is and that ain't about the money. But if it's there to get it, like Dion ain't about the money. But if you put 30 M's in my face, Joe, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. Shador is a sophomore, right? So he's going into his junior year. Dion won't be at Colorado for 5 damn years. He gonna get this money. When his son leaves, he's rolling. He gonna sit back on the couch.
So it ain't about the money then. It's about his son. You just bring my point.
He don't want to.
But you just bring my point. You bring my point, Troy. Because it ain't about the money. It's about his son. That's what we all saying.
But if I can get 30 more mil, if I can get 30 mil,
it's still about his son, yo. It's still about his son. It's still about his son. You made a point.
Yo, it ain't about, like you said, it ain't about the money. It ain't about Dion right now. Dion is lining his kids up. He got 5 kids.
That's what I'm saying.
If it ain't even about the money for Dion, I'm gonna take this 30 and I'm gonna give all my kids 5 apiece. And that ain't even coming out his side.
But let me ask this. Now let's say within this 2 to 3 years, he there. If Dion got any success like Jackson State, you think the NFL gonna come calling? And is everybody gonna get mad if he leave and go NFL?
Let me say, go to the next level. Let me say it once again, yo. Dion cannot coach in the NFL. The reason why he can't coach in the NFL because Dion needs control. He's a coach, which is a good thing. He needs control. He needs structure. Now, when you coaching it's a difference between coaching 53 young men that's on scholarships, that's playing for books, and playing 53 men that's getting paid just as much as you getting paid. It's a big difference. The structure and stuff is going to break down. You talking about
so you saying he more like John Thompson?
Right. Dion gonna put his hands on somebody, or somebody gonna put their hands on him. Like, man, who the fuck you talking to? Don't have my phone in here. I got wife and kids. You know what I'm saying? I need my phone.
Shit, John Harbaugh came out here and did that,
and that's what he need to be successful.
One of the reasons
he ain't gonna get that.
One of the reasons the Sacramento job
too long. He
the American Patriot League.
He ain't gonna get that. That's why John Thompson said he would never coach in the
Troy, you can't have a regular. You can't have a conversation while we on the thing. Put yourself on me, Troy. What you doing?
One of the reasons I took the APL job.
You can't have a conversation with your coworkers while we talking, yo. Put yourself on me, Troy.
And so
you acting like Deion Sanders right now.
Nah, yo, we talking on here. You can't have no personal conversation with somebody at your job. Yo, come on, Troy. What you doing? Put it on me. Go ahead, have your conversation. Let us talk, brother.
He can't hear him. So no. Hey, so one of the reasons I took the APL job was this. When I went down to the Houston to interview for it or whatever as a quarterback coach, when I went down to Houston, I was the only black quarterback coach, right? And I got the highest rating of all the coaches out of 52 coaches that was there. I got the #1 rating out of the rest of the coaches. And the players that we had was from LSU, Iowa State, all the big schools, right? And it was a new pro football league. The only reason I accepted the job as the head coach of the Sacramento team is because the coaches were getting paid more money than the players. It made a big difference in the power. When the players get more money than the coaches tell the coaches what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. When the coaches make more money than the players, all my assistant coaches made more money than my players. And so it was a different level of power. It reminded me of high school. It reminded me of college. Either you do it the way we asking you to do it.
Exactly.
Or you can leave.
Yeah, because you're on a 1-year scholarship and you can be gone.
Right. And it was that's basically what it was. It was a year contract.
That's what you
and that's why I'm running my pro league the way I am now, is a year-to-year contract, because of the simple fact that I see nobody gets comfortable in a year-to-year contract. What happens is, like Troy said, Deion needs control. And so I don't ever think Deion's going to ever coach in the NFL. But if he does coach in the NFL, it's going to be Shador based only. It's going to be about his son.
And it ain't going to work.
Right. It's going to be about his son again only. And these owners in the NFL. And see, the thing is this. When you become a coach in the pro league, you are part of the administration. So you are separate from, I know y'all going to hate the way I say this, but you are separate from the slaves. Right? And so what happens is, when I'm part of the ownership, when I'm part of administration, if we are ever at feud with the slaves, I can't even speak to them. Even though they my guys, I can't answer my phone for them if they call, because I'm part of administration. Deion's not that type of guy. He's one of the guys.
Right.
I don't have Deion coaching his son in the NFL.
Because ain't nobody.
Once his son go to the NFL, he's not his son no more.
Right. Yeah, man.
You're a number. It's like this. Look, I'm looking for a quarterback right now. We got Taylor Heineke. He's doing pretty much what we asking of him. You know what I'm saying? But look, I'm gonna use Shador right now we got a game next Sunday. If you had a chance to throw Shador out there instead of Heineke, would you? Hell no. He is not better than Heineke right now.
So, hey, I don't care about who better or who other. I'm just looking at what Deion.
What I'm saying is that ain't no way he can go to NFL and be about him, just be about his sons.
Yeah. I don't even have him.
Be the same.
Listen, I don't even have the time period enough for Deion to coach and then coach his. If he was to coach his son, it would be the way I see it. It would be his son's last leg if he made it in the NFL. It'd be on his decline of his end years. Because I would see Deion having to coach for about 10 to 15 years in college, or maybe a strong 10, a strong 8, before he even go to the NFL.
This is a good question that's on the board. I mean, you think the person who's this that wrote this?
Anthony
Price.
How do y'all feel about that? Do you think when Deion leaves HBCUs, Will it keep the same culture?
I think that it gave HBCU a jump start.
A blueprint.
I mean, I think that it
You're
gave
right. It just was
honestly,
a jump
yeah,
It
because
wasn't no blueprint.
listen,
A blueprint. You
nah,
ever read a blueprint?
listen to what I'm saying though, Duck, because I'm one that was saying years ago, like, yo, why don't our top 20 athletes just go to a HBCU, yo?
I've been saying that
Like,
too.
I've been saying so for
Because
him
the
to go there,
facilities are not top notch. If the facilities were better, I think they would.
Listen,
Well, it's not that they can't offer them full scholarships.
but see, that's what
All the above.
Hey, Duncan. Hey, Duncan, the reason why I brought you on here today, right? The reason why I was like, oh my God, I never knew that about the scholarships, right? So now it's clear to me why the tables are uneven. That's why I said the problem is getting this money from the NCAA to the athletes and not to the pot in the HBCUs, and that's not right. That's not right. If it goes straight to the student at D1, it should go to the student at HBCU, and that's just across the board. That should be the argument.
Let me ask you a great question. Do you know how much money that the national championship, the team that won last year? Do you know how much money that the broadcasters made that sent to that school?
Probably more than some of the coaches.
About $308 million.
Right, more than the coaches.
The winning team, the losing team got about $270 million.
Right,
big business.
270 and just split it up between HBCUs. Do you know how much it would change?
Exactly. So that's
the best athletes are still making money for them. Their facilities are going up. Their facilities are high. That's why I said Dion just didn't. Nobody taught him the rules. If he had somebody like me as assistant coach, I was like, "Yo, this how this work, prom. Calm down. We can make more money if you just get your emotions out the way."
Knowledge is power, brother. Knowledge is power always.
Right. So and look, I can't say allegedly because we can't say what he knew and what he didn't know. Right. Maybe he knew that. He said. I
don't think he did.
Listen, maybe he said.
He would have been asking where the money at then.
But listen though, Dunk. Instead of him getting the booster, he gave his check. That's the booster. He was the booster.
His check don't go to the football. It goes back to the municipal pot.
So
that's
no. So there we go again. So now I'm not even going to think that he didn't know, right? Now, since you keep saying that he didn't know, now I'm thinking the school hustled him because the school know.
No,
no, because the school know how to get the money straight to the team.
Well, it's no way you can get it straight to the
way.
program.
It's a system in place.
Well, no, you just said if I get a booster, I get it
in place. You cannot, and that's right. You absolutely right. We don't. So hold up. Let's be real, Kim. Let's be real. We talking about blacks, right? Let's be real. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. If I ask you, and you've been in the youth program before, if I ask black people, we're gonna do a fundraiser, right? In a black youth program, how do we fundraise? Let's be real. How do we fundraise?
Where, in Baltimore?
Yep. If we at no fees,
crab feast.
Even when I was the president there,
crab
Team
feast.
Holy Dirt. When I started Team Holy Dirt, when
crab
I even told the parents we're going to do this as a fundraiser. How did the parents fundraise?
Crab feast.
How do they fundraise though?
Through the team. Well, always did ours through our team. We always had a team and an organization.
How you're right. I'm saying how do the parents fundraise?
They donate. They get their money. They
go just people. Like this. They go in their pocket and they give. That's not fundraising. That's you giving me the money again. See, as blacks, we don't know how to fundraise. We don't know how to use other people's money.
They don't know about going to get sponsorships and things like that.
Yo,
what they do now.
Only thing we know because nobody taught us the education of fundraising. I'm telling you, I didn't learn it really good until I got to Dundalk and watch how these white folks move.
Right. All right. So
fundraise by going. Oh, how many tickets is it? It's 30 tickets. How much? $1 a ticket. Oh, here go $30. I need you to go out and sell these tickets to other people because you're gonna raise more money because it's gonna be a cap if you just give me the money. That's no use of fundraising if you just giving me the money.
Understood.
All I'm getting another registration from you.
I understand what you're saying. All right. I understand what you're saying totally. But I'm going back to Dion, and I'm going back to the because I'm under the impression now that if I start my own booster, if I start a booster for the team, a Jimmy B, Black, some whatever. If I start a foundation, that money can go directly to the team, right? It can skip the meat and potatoes, right?
Exactly.
It can skip the pot, right? All right. So if I'm Dion and I'm giving half of my salary back, why don't that go to? I can start my own.
No, you take half of your salary and you put it in another account that's going to be part of the boosters program. That's going to go directly to the school. Because if not, your salary that you're giving back, they're just going to put back in the municipal pot anyway.
But ain't that what he did? Because he said we only have what I brought there.
Right. And so guess what? If the science program needed new laptops,
they're going to get the laptop.
Money they're going to use for it.
They're going to get the laptop. But actually,
it ain't going to the football.
But actually, they should have other monies already coming in where they should be getting the laptop.
Right, they should.
Speaking.
You doing Dion shit
because you wasn't banking on. You wasn't banking on.
Doing the same thing Dion did. This is
what
it should be. It should go like this. It should.
Right, because. Okay, well then it need to be controlled at the top. It need to be controlled from coming in from the NCAA. That first it should need to go to the pot, and then the people that's managing the pot. Then the people that's managing the pot need to be, like you said earlier, trustworthy enough to handle the money.
Now you know why I was doing the deal with NAIA for Black to the Future to get Black colleges out of NCAA, because we're getting robbed with this whole system. Go back to NAIA, and then we can do it the way that they do it at big colleges. They don't separate us.
I got you.
That's why I was doing that.
I got you.
But nobody would jump aboard because it was Blacks.
In the same way like how Dion is, he in there Jackson State at the HBCU. He like, yo, y'all come on, fund it. We can run this. You see, I bring everybody through here. I got all the A1 talent coming here. It did look, but not even just on this level. Because it don't matter if I'm on the HBCU level or the Pac-12 level. I'ma still get the top Black. I'ma still get the top guys to want to come play and run with me.
You're gonna get more because you got more money and facilities. Remember, he didn't have 53 scholarship players on.
Exactly. That's what I'm learning. That's what I'm
53 scholarship players in Colorado.
That's gonna make them even more dangerous. Even if he give 20 of them, even if he give 20 a year to somebody from the hood, to somebody that never even get a chance. Yeah. They gonna get a real full scholarship.
53 scholarship players, right?
And
remember, your scholarship is year-to-year base, right? Now you understand his meeting with the players.
Right.
Some of y'all need to jump in the because the ones that doing scholarship now, it's only year-to-year. So next year, scholarship open up. I'm bringing in some dogs.
And I understand that.
He got 53 scholarship players now.
And I'm telling you, watching you break down the scholarships and everything, that it makes more sense to me why he leaves. And it ain't even got to be about the money. It's about the different position. It's about the position that he's in as a head coach to go out here and win and really compete on a big level.
What I'm saying is this.
I got him turning that Pac-12 out.
The education of how this thing works at HBCUs. He could have made a salary of over $100 million last year. Remember, Blacks spent $1.7 trillion last year.
Right.
1.7 trillion. If Deion Sanders would have had somebody smart in this corner like Duncan Anderson, I would have like, Prime, get out your emotions right now. We could make more money than you ever could imagine.
No, Dunk, I think you looking at it wrong, Dunk. Let me tell you why you're looking at it wrong, yo. Because Prime did what he did.
Right.
And I'm telling you, Monday morning, Jackson State is going to have Duncan Anderson resume on there to be on the coaching staff. You think I'm joking?
I already sent it over to him.
Hey, look.
I sent it over to him that day.
Okay, see, there you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. You asked him, and then see, now I feel insulted because you're going to come up here and act like who can be the next guy and all that stuff like that.
I already know. I didn't play in no Super Bowl and no World Series. I know people like, who's Coach Duncan?
It don't matter
who Coach Brown was. They gonna say who Coach Duncan. Only people that know me know who Coach Duncan is.
But listen to what I'm gonna say, Dunk. And we got the same spirit and things. Like, I'm a people's person. So once people get in the room with me,
absolutely, I agree.
You understand what I'm saying? So
agree.
you already got that energy and everything like that.
Exactly.
Right. I can do what put me in prime position. You understand what I'm saying? I might not have won 11-0. You understand what I'm saying? But I get some good guys, and it might have took me a longer point in time because I don't have a name.
I'm
going
11-0. But the guys he leave over and the guys that's gonna come in, I'm gonna go because I'm a football coach.
Well, no. Well, what I was saying was I'm talking about when he first came. Just like when he first came, he went 5 and 6, whatever he went.
Yeah, remember he had a lot of the kids that came from his Truth Academy.
Right,
he had them small kids.
Right. So it took him 2 to 3 years. It took him 2 years to get to the mountaintop. Right. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Right. But I motivate the shit out. I can motivate some young men
immediately though.
You understand what I'm saying?
You don't take much. I got a system. I'm gonna win immediately.
Right.
Right.
See, you got a system, and I ain't coaching right now, so I don't have a system. But you got a system.
I was actually playing with moving some plays around yesterday. I got a system. I mean, and I win immediately.
That's why
the only thing I'm guilty of, Kim, and you know, because you've been knowing me since I was a kid. The only thing that I've been guilty of is being 7 to 10 years ahead of the curve. And so things that I was talking about or trying to do, people called me I was crazy. And then 7 years later, like, yo, Dunk, he was right.
And with that being said, that's why you said the resume is already in.
Yeah, I sent it in the first my resume. So now the assistant athletic director, because the athletic director, Ashley Robinson, doesn't have his email on under the website. So I send it to the assistant athlete, the one that sits beside him.
So what we need now, we need fan base to call in and be like, hey, bro, we need you to hire this guy, Duncan.
I need people to vote for Coach Duncan to be the next assistant, the next coach at Jackson State.
And we're gonna tag Jackson State. So look, we will get that poll going. We will get that poll going.
They think they seen something with Dion. I'm gonna show you how to really get you the money.
Hey, look, we're gonna get that poll going. You think I'm joking? We will get that.
Yo, let's put it together.
I'm gonna tag. We're gonna tag Jackson State. Get your highlights. Get your highlight tape ready. Yeah, I mean, so we can run it.
All that's in my my email and my resume.
All right, so
I show my system. I show the athletes that were successful in my system. I show how Darius had 51 touchdowns his junior year as a quarterback. I show all that.
We need to go into self-promotion. You understand what I'm saying? We need to go into self-promotion.
I'm gonna send it all over to you. I'm gonna send it to you.
All right, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Email. I'm gonna send it to you.
That's definitely what it is. I'm gonna shoot it in your
Hey, you know, once that happened, everybody on. And I'm gonna show us how to get you the money. I'm gonna show you how a booster program and how we're gonna set up PayPal and visas and stuff like that to make the money come right into the booster program.
Hey, look, I got one better for you, yo. I got one better for you. You know who the head coach is, right?
Right.
Right, Jackson State right now, right?
Right. He leaving his assistant coach as the head coach. They got to play the bowl game.
Send that email. Don't even send the coach an email to him. Send your booster and how you can raise him money as an assistant coach. Right. Send that to him. Okay. Send that to him. Don't even send it to the athletic director. Yeah. Send it directly to him.
Right.
Because that's who you going. He the one that need to know now. He need to know what you need to tell Dion last year.
Kevin, let me tell you this. A lot of people that work at HBCUs, a lot of the presidents know, but a lot of athletic directors, if you ask athletic directors how the money gets funneled down to the sports program, the way I broke it down to y'all, they don't even know that.
See,
and that's what's sad.
So you need to sit down with the head coach. Bruh, look, from the outside looking in, I see what y'all going through. I got to fix it.
Right. They don't even know. Like Morgan head coach, they don't even know how the money funnels down. They only do what they told to do, and they don't want to ask questions because a lot of blacks, when they get in positions, they don't want to buck the system or ruffle nobody's feathers by asking questions. That's why the president and Dion didn't get along, because Dion was asking too many questions.
Asking questions. Right.
So
that's
so. If you already know, you can create a strategy. See, I've been working on this strategy for like 7 years now.
I got you. So I understand what you're saying. You already knew the problems that he was going to have going in
Right. And
from a
I already
different
found the
angle.
solutions for him.
They're
That's why I
already
created
right.
Black to the Future.
That's why you need to talk to the head coach now. Because that might be the door. That might be the door that he opened, that Dion opened. Like, yo, look, this is what's going on. He didn't figure it out. Everybody like, well, damn, why Prime gotta go through this? This is what he figured out. So now that's your leeway. In. See, I'm all for the next man up, step up, because I believe the winners.
I know I do a fabulous job. Like everywhere I coach, I had won. I'm every player's favorite coach because I actually care about them.
What's the head coach name of Jackson State?
What's the job? It was a dude name. Let me look it up real quick. But yeah, he left the assistant coach.
So while you look it up, find his email and say, Coach, I need to talk to him.
You know, the crazy part is, you want me to be 100% honest with you? When Dion was looking for an offensive line coach doing spring ball, I sent my resume and everything over because I coach offensive line too. I'm an offensive coordinator. So I knew I was watching their spring ball, what you call, and I knew how they should be blocking. And their zone blocking steps was absolutely wrong. And that's why they couldn't catch a block and the quarterback kept on getting hit. And Dion was frustrated, like, yo, y'all keep getting too touched. Man, I need a new offensive line coach. He was getting on. And I was telling them, like, yo, I know why they taking the wrong steps. Because with the way they zone blocking, they actually stepping with their foot first in the direction that they're going. That ain't how you zone block. You step with the opposite foot.
Right.
But everybody don't know how to teach zone blocking the right way. They teach you the traditional way. And that's stepping. If you're going to the right, you're going to step with the right foot first. No, because if you shoot the right foot first and that guy get a good jump on you, then all he got to do is rip through your shoulder pad to get in the backfield. Mm-hmm. Right? But if you step the left foot first and you use your right foot as a hedge
right
behind you to be able to hold his momentum, he got to come through your whole body now.
Right.
To get you to, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what I know exactly. It's giving you foundation
on your back foot.
It's giving you a foundation.
Right on that back foot. That if he ripped through, now all you gotta do is throw the flipper up under his shoulder pad to lift him up. So his bull rush go from down to up now. And once you got him up, you can control his shoulder pad.
Right. So look. So as you look up that coach name, right? I want you me to you, bro. Send him that email. Because we're trying to get you, I want you on that staff next year. You know what I mean? Because this is what it's going to take. Like, literally, honestly, this is what it's going to take. If we want HBCUs, if we want better for our community, better for our culture, when the guy leaves his foot in the door with the door halfway open, we got to be ready and willing to step through that. And that's just what it is. And if you know you got a solution to what the HBC, man, shit, you need to be hired by each one of the schools so you can go into each one of the schools, have a lecture, and teach them.
And you need a booster for basketball. You need a booster for softball. You need
we need to have a seminar
program to get the money to the what, man.
We need to have a seminar and invite every HBCU.
That's what I was doing with Black to the Future. You're absolutely right.
Whoever it is within each team, invite each one of them there and give them half the information at the seminar. At the first seminar, give them half the information, and then they gotta hire you and come back.
And that's what the thing was. I was charging $25,000 per college to become a member of Black to the Future. And what happened was we was going to have quiet meetings because we can't let NCAA know what we're doing when we're going to leave. We're going to opt out. See, first you got to know why NCAA was actually formed. Guess what NCAA original job was when they first started?
Mm-hmm. What was it?
Their first job was to certify helmets and send them back to the colleges. That's it. Okay. They was like, shuts. This helmet good. This helmet you're going to have to buy a new one. This helmet good. This one you're going to have to buy a new one. And they would certify them, clean them, and send them back. That's all NCAA did.
And somebody woke up one day with a bright idea, like, man,
somebody said that NCAA, yo, we want to get these colleges to play against each other. Can you sanction rules and create conferences? And that's what gave NCAA all their power.
And they had the helmets.
Exactly.
They had to get the helmets from us anyway.
So remember when Penny Hardaway went into investigation last year and they told him he had to sit out Penny understood and had a lawyer that knew the rules of NCAA, that they didn't have the power to make him do that because they're a nonprofit organization entity with no power, almost like the IRS, and they only have information that you actually give them. So if you don't give them no information, they don't have no power, so they can't sit you. That's why Penny kept on coaching. You got to understand everybody's rules and what they got power to do. NCAA don't have no power to sit any coach or suspend any player. You volunteer and do it yourself. They didn't even have the power to take the trophy back from Reggie Bush. He voluntarily gave that trophy back.
Wait a minute. You just teaching me something else. Hold up, wait a minute. You telling me that the NCAA don't have any power?
They have zero power. The only power that they have is what you give them. The only information they get is when they investigate it and you voluntarily give this information, almost like First 48.
So then that'll just come down to the good old boy network and who will say they're gonna play you and they're not gonna play you if you ain't following what the NCAA tell you to do.
Just like Juwan Howard. Remember when Juwan Howard got in that fight, right?
Yeah.
Remember, NCAA didn't suspend him. So the school suspended him, and then the conference suspended him. So NCAA don't fuck with them. Because NCAA didn't have the power to suspend Juwan Howard. So they made the conference do it and the school do it because he works directly for the school, and the school is in that conference. So they got a commission that's over top of the school.
And so what you want to do is pull all the black colleges from out.
Right, because we got to learn the rules.
Okay, I got you.
We pull them out of NCAA. We opt out of NCAA, and we go to NAIA. They got just as much money as NCAA, and everybody's streaming now, so you ain't got to worry about TV time.
Wait a minute. You said NAIA got just as much money.
They got just as much money to give away for scholarships as NCAA. You will get your full 53 scholarships in NAIA. What you're going to get in NCAA, you're going to get kids that got to do Pell Grants and financial aid, and you're going to be able to match the balance because the money going to go into a municipal pot.
Right, I got that.
Right. So that's how NCAA governs black colleges. If we leave the NCAA and go to NAIA, they got a different structure where your programs get their money.
So check this out. You mean to tell me ain't nobody thinking about that right now? Like all the black colleges ain't thinking about that?
Don't nobody know. I just told you. If you ask the directors of black colleges,
but you said they
don't even know how the money funnels down.
But you said they came from the NAIA before anyway.
Right. That's when before we was allowed on white college campuses. That was in the 40s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. We was NAIA.
So how many teams are NAIA now?
HBCUs?
No, period.
They got probably over 300, probably about over 1,000 schools at NAIA.
NAIA, and what, they don't compete against NCAA teams?
No, that's why when teams play them NCAA schools, the NCAA schools pay them a certain amount of money to beat up on them. So they pay for their lodging, they pay for their trips, they pay for their meals, and then whatever's left over, if the coach budgeted right, they got a little bit of money left over for the program.
So give me an example of an NAIA team.
NAIA school would be a Goucher.
Goucher College?
Yeah, Goucher College would be an NAIA.
Okay, all right. Say no more.
Fairmount State.
I got you. One of them small schools.
Yes. Huh?
They small schools pretty much.
Yeah, schools like that. But they got tons of money.
Got you.
Remember, the alumni that graduate, when you graduate from these schools, you have an obligation to be a part of the alumni, and the alumni gives a certain amount of money back every year.
I got you.
So let's say, for instance, Lafayette University, right?
Right.
This is what you don't know. So my kid Malik Ham went to Lafayette, right? That played for me at City.
Hold up. This is what we're going to do, because this is a lot of valuable information. I'm going to hang up off of this. Call my phone. Because I'm gonna drop off a live. So I don't want nobody to steal your idea. You understand what I'm saying? And you need to run with it. And this is all over YouTube, all over everywhere.
Right.
All right. So look, That's what I'm gonna do. Call me. Give me like 10 minutes. Give me like 10 minutes.
Give me. When I get in the car, I'm gonna call you when I'm in the car. So I'm gonna talk on the car ride.
All right, boom. That's what's up. All right. Hey, thanks for being here, bro.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, man. Because I think the information need to get out, man. I think, like Troy said, I got a lot in his head, and people don't even know until you actually have a conversation with me.
Right. All right. So we're gonna get up. All right.
I appreciate you, champ.
All right, that's what it is. I appreciate you for being here, bro. That's Coach Duncan right there. That's Coach D. Hey, this is what we're gonna do because we've been on here for almost 3 hours, man. 2:45. Got me very informative information and all that good stuff. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna sign out. I will definitely see you guys tomorrow night, and that's sports with Jay, and we'll be here tomorrow night, 6:30 Eastern time. No, 7 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time tomorrow. Until then, I want y'all to say, stay up, man. Stay safe. And I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. We're going to ride out to, y'all know who it is, 25 and up. Holler at y'all tomorrow.
Take a look at
where your heart is lonely, so pick up the phone, call on me. The doors unlocked, you ain't gotta wait on me. Say, baby girl, you should slide through. I wanna hit it from the back one time, I wanna hit it from the side view. Yeah, no face, no case, the vibe, girl, you know how I do. Cook a steak, roll up the gas, girl, and let's get high too. Girl, I really like you. Your vibes is so wonderful. Anytime I'm around you, I feel comfortable. So business-minded, international. Since we're best friends, love could be dangerous. So good, can't restrain from it. You're the one, you're my favorite. You're the love that I can't forget. Something so platonic, you got it. To be honest, cause you modest. Yeah, you a boss, bitch, you my best friend. You flawless, you my love friend and homie. On the nights where your heart is lonely, so pick up the phone, call on me. The doors unlocked, you ain't gotta wait on me. When we in public, we say that we bro and sis. Come around your man and you never know what it is. I know it's mine, I let him think that it's his. I'm playing your daddy and even play with his kids. Been cool so many years, we know each other the best. Got skeletons in our closet we could never confess. Took our secrets to the grave so we never would tell. You even send me pussy pics that hold something in jail. That shit was real. That's why your nigga love the shit out you. Wanna kiss and wanna hug the shit out you. Wanna do anything you want and fuck the shit out you. If a nigga cross the line, I even bust a stick about. I said my baby ain't average, nah. Try me, my bitch gon' slide, and you know it's gon' be casket claws. She so sophisticated, I can't fuck with no ratchets, nah. Got a whole man at home, but for me she get active, yeah. I be like, go best, yeah. I said I love it when you hold me, and when we chillin', smoke a whole tree. Yeah, we layin' back, listen to oldies. Yeah, baby girl, put it on me. She my lover, friend and homie. Ain't no need to be alone tonight, girl, I know that you want me. Please pick up the phone, girl, and just call on me. I left the door unlocked, come in, girl, ain't gotta wait on me. You're my lover, friend and homie.